Rise and shine, rev up those engines because we are coming at you live here with week number 4 of the LPL Pro Rocket League A and Z Championship. And man, it is good to be back. My name, it's Matt Smiteros, and of course, Dr. Stephen Watson here. You're a doctor here.
I'll take it.
I'm not sure what week I decided you're a doctor, but you've graduated. You are now a professional.
I definitely don't have the qualifications for it, but I'll take it nonetheless. It might look good on my CV.
You're a doctor in Rocket League. Nothing useful in the real world, but you're a doctor in Rocket League.
It's not going to help anywhere.
But mate, all right, so we are back though. We're back here with more Rocket League. And guys, just before we get into anything from today, I want to give a very important update about the prize pool, because of course we did touch on this last week, but due to the Worlds event being cancelled, Psyonix, in all of their generosity, have increased the prize pool here for the first and second place positions. I believe it is 15,000 and 10,000 specifically for those prize pools. So none of the teams are going to be missing out on any extra prize money here in the season, and they're still going to be competing super hard for those top 2 spots. But Stephen, with all that said and done, I want to rewind a little bit, go back to the previous week and talk about the games that we saw there.
Yeah, let's do it. We had some another upset. I think we had one per week now, so I'm hoping for a same result this week.
Got to meet the quota.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got to go by the script, right? But Renegades taking down Team Esper in a close series. I don't think anyone really picked that up with how Team Esper have been playing, but
almost an upset.
Great game. Definitely go back and watch that one if you did not. And then Ground Zero taking down Fury in a 3-0. And then after that, we had Overt taking down Cringe, a team that I think everyone put near the top, the superstar team as people are calling it, taking them down 3-0 as well. So very decisive win from them, and great for Overt to start to get on the board for sure.
Oh, I mean, Overt feel stoked about this one. It's going to give them a lot better chance on the leaderboard. It was their first win as well. So the fact that it was against Cringe Society, it's high hopes for them for the rest of the season.
It definitely helps with the confidence. And then we went on and watched Mindfreak become the only undefeated team in the league, which is so weird to say. I don't think anyone would have picked that. Yeah, they're a great team, and I think a lot of people put them higher in the standings, but definitely not undefeated in first. Yeah,
and defeating last year's finalists. Now, they haven't looked as strong as they did in the previous season, but it is still something to be proud about for just yet another win on the table for Mindfreak. But there you have it, guys. It's the results from last week. Of course, just going over it again, Renegades 3-2 against Team Esper, Ground Zero picking up that 3-0 against Fury, Overt picking up the big 3-0 against Cringe Society, and of course, Mindfreak with the last game picking up a 3-1 against Canberra Havoc. But let's take a look at where that leaves everyone, because like you mentioned, Mindfreak sitting there at the top by themselves, 3-0. While we've got Cringe Society, Renegades, and Ground Zero rounding out what we'd mostly expect the top 4 to look like, with a 2-1 record each. Then Fury, Team Esper, and Overt, 1-2, and then down at the bottom, Canberra Havoc, all by themselves with not a single win yet.
Although Canberra Havoc is at the bottom, I think last week was a good showing for them. They did lose a 3-1, but the first game that they did win, they looked very, very good. They weren't playing that defensive counter-attacking style that we saw from them last year. They were playing a more aggressive style, and it was good to see. I just want to see more of it.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to see more of them, but that's a little later on today, because let's take a look at the schedule of the matches we're going to be seeing. We're kicking things off with Cringe Society taking on Ground Zero. Following that will be Team Esper taking on the undefeated Mindfreak. Then we'll have Fury looking to get another win up against the Renegades. And lastly, it is Canberra Havoc looking for their first win against Overt. Now, Watson, I think I know the answer already, but which match here is the one to look for?
Definitely don't have to point out that first game. I think everyone's looking at it already, but I think we have some really close games today. I think maybe Fury Renegades is the only one you could say is a little more one-sided, but I think with the way Canberra Havoc was playing, I think that they have a good chance against Overt in that second match as well. Mindfreak should be looking pretty good to take down a Team Esper that's on the rise, but maybe quite hasn't found their stride yet.
Yeah, so it could be one-sided on that one too. But let's talk about that first matchup, because that one's going to be, like you said, one that a lot of people are going to have their eyes on. I mean, just Ground Zero have been looking really strong lately. I mean, they're just coming off a hot 3-0. Is it going to be enough for them to take the win, though, today? Is that what we're expecting?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, because I don't think anyone picked Cringe Society to lose last week, and so now they're bouncing back from a loss. I think that's going to help them drive them in this game, and this is definitely a win that both teams kind of need to kind of solidify their place in that top 4. I think the most interesting thing to note is that Ground Zero have the most goals, whereas Cringe has the least goals conceded. So maybe a classic case of attack versus defense today.
Well, I mean, it's going to be really cool to see it in action, so let's take a look at the matchup one more time. Cringe Society taking on Ground Zero. And like you mentioned, this one's super important. It decides who's going to move up closer to that top spot for a moment, being equal with Mindfreak, unless they lose later today. But of course, yeah, overall, just a really important match, sending the loser further down the table, making it that much harder for playoffs.
Definitely, yeah, and I think also like when you pick up these wins against the top teams, it helps you keep in that top spot. But I mean, with these teams dropping games to teams that we thought were lower down the standings, I mean, it's anyone's game to kind of make it to playoffs at this rate.
All right, well, let's take a look at who will be jumping onto the fields today. It's going to be Cringe Society first. It's Torsos, Spydoge, and Drippe. Now, of course, everyone knows these names. It's why we call this team a super team. So, the question is, are they living up to the hype? Is it enough for this game here?
The first 2 weeks, I definitely would have said yes. I think last week was definitely an off game. I think anyone that watched it kind of felt that maybe they were asleep. I don't know. I don't know what the excuse was last week. It just didn't come together. Maybe we can put it up to Team Overt just playing well and countering them a lot. But yeah, I think all of these players need to step up this week if they want to take down Ground Zero.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Ground Zero instead as well, because these guys have had a pretty good run so far. Jules, Decker, and Express. Of course, Express being the newest member to the lineup. He's been slotted in pretty efficiently, I've got to say. Pretty smoothly.
Yeah, definitely has slotted into the team. I mean, he was taking Requiem's slot, who I thought was maybe more the playmaker for the team last season, but has maybe taken on this this role of that defender and let Jules and Decker kind of be those pop-off moments. Has had his moments to shine, though. I think what's interesting is both these teams have looked either really good or quite bad. So, I mean, I'm hoping that both teams are on form today or we have a hell of a match.
Yeah, there's been a lot of 3-0s from both sides. But let's take a look at the featured player matchup. It's going to be two players that, well, they're going to know each other's names because they were previously on the Chiefs together. It's Drippe and Express. So just taking a look at some of these numbers, similar amount of games played, Drippe with 1 game or less. I mean, what are these numbers saying to you?
They're pretty even, I'm not going to lie. I think maybe Drippe on the offense has his shots up there, but needs to get that goal count up. Neither of them really getting a goal a game, but both these teams have had the least amount of games, other than Canberra Havoc, who have pretty much been 3-0'd most weeks apart from last week. So not too many games to kind of draw some stats from, but yeah, I guess there they are. Take it what you want from them.
Okay, well, let's see if they can play against each other on the fields today, because our first game coming right up as well. So before we do jump into it, though, I've got to ask you my favorite question, which is, of course, who's taking this game, who's taking the series, and what's the scoreline?
You always put this question on me, and I always get it wrong.
Yeah, well, okay.
But I
do a fence-sitting answer then.
I guess I've got to give it to Cringe Society. I think bouncing back from the loss is really going to help them. Most people would say the win and momentum from that would help them, but I think they're not happy with how they performed last week, and they've probably worked on the mistakes they made. At least I hope. I want to see them do well. And yeah, I'd probably give it a 3-2 to Cringe Society. I think we're going to see a game 5.
3-2, so you think Ground Zero are going to make them go all the distance?
I definitely do think so. I think game 5 overtime. I want to see it.
Game 5 overtime?
I want it real close.
I mean, okay, last week we had a 5-game series that had 4 out of 5 games going to overtime.
I want 5 out of 5 overtime.
5 out of 5?
I don't know if we'll see it, but man, that would be amazing.
That would be a long series.
That would be a banger.
I mean, like, let's say every overtime is like, say, 2 minutes long, which
Could
is
have an extra game.
Yeah, yeah.
An extra series.
You're just throwing in at least a few more extra games in there. That is a long series, but so all the way going to game 5 here.
I've had my breakfast. I'm ready for it.
I mean, what are we thinking the chances of a 3-0 are going to be, though? Because, like you said, both of these teams have looked either really good or really bad. Is there a chance that one team just shows up today and just looks really bad?
That's definitely a case. I think if one team doesn't show up, they're going to get completely washed out. But I do think both of these teams are up to the challenge. I think they're both ready for this game. They've been waiting for it. It's probably the biggest challenge for both these teams as well, to kind of verse those top 4 opponents and see what playoffs might look like. Let's just get into it.
Yep, no better way to say it myself. So Ground Zero with a pretty great kickoff to start things off, and just keeping it with a bang as well, taking Drippe off the field too, taking their first shot, but Spydoge is going to be there to save it out.
A bit of a panicky first moments for Cringe Society there, but enough defenders to get in the way and stop that early goal from coming in. And here we see it transitioning into a counter-attack, but snuffed out by Decker in the corner there.
Yeah, it's actually stopped really quickly. Express failing to catch that one. Would have been a great setup for the rest of his team, but Cringe Society still struggling to get it back, still struggling to get their own attack going, and it is a bit of a weird one here sitting at the net. for Ground Zero, but they do eventually take a shot. Jules finds a moment. The defenders all but spent there.
Yeah, and it's all come from that whiff just there where both players went for it. Neither of them gets it, and they're all out of position. Zero boost. Spidoge can't quite get to it. Just turned a little to the left and managed to dodge the ball instead of save it. And there it is. That's the goal lead to Ground Zero.
And already a great heavy playstyle coming out from Ground Zero. Another good kickoff coming out from them too. Might be cleared by Cringe Society, but Ground Zero can keep it strong and forward and up to the pressure. So for now, Cringe Society, finally we might see them actually get something going here on Ground Zero's side, but they've stolen it away again.
It's looking like Ground Zero's got the best of this so far, but a little pinch there, and that's gone in from their own half. Definitely a misrotation from Ground Zero here. I'm not actually sure how this went in.
Yeah,
just a pinch?
Just waiting to see if there's maybe a bump along the way, but no, it just looks like no one was there in position to catch it.
Just unlucky. Definitely just unlucky. I mean, Torsos will claim it and say that was all calculated, but yeah, we hate seeing those. It's never the best to be on the receiving end of that.
Oh, we may be close to one, but Spidoge is too hot on the tail of the ball here to keep that one out, so kickoff goal is nullified for now. Cringe Society going to push this one forward to start looking for a shot. It's actually set up quite nicely for Spidoge, but didn't get the exact angle that he wanted to take a shot, and so that one's going to slow down.
Spidoge probably should have done better there, but didn't quite have the boost to get around it. Wasn't expecting it to come so early to him, and so it wasn't in a position
it came off
to
an enemy, so.
Yeah, he wasn't really expecting it. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, but could have been a goal lead to Cringe the other way. But the shots coming through and the saves coming through as well for Cringe Society. The pressure's on.
Yeah, and now finally Ground Zero back onto their attack, back into keeping this pressure on, but Torsos looking to drive that one by, and he finally does with the help of Spidoge behind him. Now, it's going to be Ground Zero trying to get it through the air. Decker even taking a shot, but these defenders, they're onto it today.
That was a nice little shot from Decker there, though. The defender had to be on his game to get to that, and manages to keep it out of the corner, but a great play shot from Decker.
Ground Zero are still keeping this pressure up. They're still keeping the ball over on the blue side here and even keep making it impossible for Cringe to steal it away from them. They might have an opportunity to do so here. Spidoge gets it by, up in the air, and he still holds control of it so far. It's going to be Decker that catches it, but with Express demoed in the background, you've got to imagine that maybe this one's going to slow down.
That was nice from Spidoge. Maybe could have been a bit quicker to get the play going, but manages to get the flip reset at the end to make it a little awkward for Ground Zero, and they had to kind of slow down to get that clearance. So we see all three players from Cringe here, maybe that lack of communication that we saw last week.
Drippe looking to set this one up, looking for anyone to catch it, and then eventually does go to the corner. Spidoge maybe trying to take a shot, and it does go in. Express not able to catch that one.
Yeah, no one really in the corner to get the clearance there. Decker doesn't win that 50-50. Express is caught in the wall, two mines there, and neither keeper can get that shot out of the net. And there it is, the lead for Cringe Society with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, and all this aggression, all this heavy play style coming out from Ground Zero, it's just starting to be met by Cringe Society. They're meeting them, they're defending it, and they're stealing it away and even getting their own counterattacks going. So Ground Zero maybe starting to struggle a little bit, and even starting to take this one slow as they move in, look for the 50-50, fail it, and Drippe gets it by another one, goes over to Decker. Is there anyone from Cringe to catch it? And it looks like there is, but Decker should be able to push this one back.
Ground Zero look great on the attack, but as soon as the ball's in their half, they do not look comfortable at all. We'll see Decker here with a chance and opportunity, but Spidoge behind the ball to pinch that. Don't tell me that's gone in. No, Express is there to clean it up, thankfully.
Yeah, that would have been a painful one for sure, but Decker's going to shoot this one up to the corner, and all of Cringe Society have returned to keep this one out. Good control of the ball, clear it to the corner nice and slowly in control. And now, that means Cringe Society hold on to control. Ooh. They take a shot, and it's actually slow and above Express's head.
That was very nice in Torsos. I saw he had the flip. I wasn't sure if he was going to get something from it, but sees where Express is, sees him go down at the bottom of the net, and decides to put it top corner to put it past him. Great goal from Torsos there.
Just solid control the whole way, and just the mind games at the end as well. Cringe Society a 2-goal lead. Demo onto Drippe will slow this play down, but you've got to say, in this game so far, they put the pressure on. They've met Ground Zero's attacks. Now they've come back to almost all but secure this one.
Definitely very sloppy at the start. We saw how late it took them to kind of get the ball rolling. We see the dribble coming out from Drippe here, but loses the dribble and the 50-50. Torsos whiffs it in the corner as well, so all this pressure's for nothing. But yeah, what I was saying is Cringe started off pretty weak, but has definitely turned this game around. As we see the shot here, saved by Express at the last moment.
Yeah, but they're starting to run out of juice here on the defense as it's stolen away from Ground Zero. They're going to run out of this boost eventually. Deca has a good tank left to hold on and defend. Cringe Society, they get a good demo there. They steal it away with that 50-50, looking to take a shot from the midfield, but it is sent all the way to Express. Catches it and holds on to it for now. 30 seconds to go, and it's still on Cringe to get 2 more goals.
Yeah, they've got it. Ground Zero have got to get it out of their half now if they want a chance to take this to overtime. I wanted the 5 overtime, so I want to see them do it. But I think that Cringe Society really controlling the game now.
Yeah, and it just feels like they're sliding around all uncontrolled here in their own half. And Ground Zero, finally they get it by them. Finally they get a shot. Deca looks to take it. It's blocked,
That's one.
But it does go in by Jules. 5 seconds to go. Put your hands together and pray for a miracle if you're a Ground Zero fan and you want this one to go to overtime.
Yeah, this is all Deca. Pops it over one defender, wins that 50-50 against Spido. She just literally put it on a plate for Jules. Could not miss that shot if he tried. 5 seconds to go. It needs a kickoff goal here, and their kickoff looked great at the start of the game, but with Tuasos winning that one, I think that might be the game.
Oh, it's actually almost going in as well, but they're happy to let it go to the ground. They're happy to send this one 3-2. It's picking up game number 1 here for Cringe Society. And so the question is, now we've got a good feel of where both the teams are sitting. How are they showing up today? I mean, you said Cringe Society may be a little messy at the start, but have they cleaned up enough to maybe just clean sweep the rest of the series?
Both teams looking a little messy, but having great moments at the same time. There was some good goals in that. I mean, the Tuasos flip reset was very nice, as well as that Deca play there with the air dribble. So they are playing up to the bar that we've set for both these teams, but at the same time, individual mistakes and communication errors we saw from both teams there kind of what caused most of the goals to go in.
Yeah, I've got a feeling, though, that a lot of those are going to be cleared up here in game number 2, so we might get to see both teams a little more at their peak and a little more at their full strength. I mean, yeah,
I'd love to see it. As a neutral, this would be great to see.
I mean, because they're already playing pretty well. They're already playing pretty high level, so just clearing up those few little errors that they had, and I feel like both teams can do that. They're going to look pretty great coming here into game 2. So the question is, does Ground Zero really have it in them to take the next game? I mean, because let's go back. Remember, one of those goals kind of slipped through Ground Zero. It was a little weird, and that could have been a 2-all game that went to overtime. Maybe we see Ground Zero come back in game 2.
Yeah, definitely just need to fix up those mistakes in the defense. I think they're letting themselves get pressured too much. They're not clearing it well enough. I mean, they're trying to play it out a little too smartly, a little too cheeky, and they're getting caught in the ball and just keeping the pressure on themselves. I think if they stop being their worst enemy, they might have a chance here.
You know who is getting a little cheeky, though? It's Drippe. You can see him. After you got that really sick play before, hang on, though, because this is getting really close to Cringe's net. And Ground Zero, they're not looking to finish up, taking it slow and controlled, just trying to slip it into the corner there, but it stays out. But they're still not done. They're still trying to find a way to get it in and bounces off the top. They've got maybe one more shot, but they have to steal it away from Drippe, who's just flying through the air and trying to put it in the net, but I think it's slowing down for now, and the attack has stopped.
What I was going to say before the game started is Ground Zero started very strong in the last game. I wanted to see them convert that into an early lead, but with shots like that not going in, you start to doubt yourselves, and when Cringe Society start rolling, that's when it's going to get much harder for Ground Zero to kind of get that lead.
Yeah, because a lot of them were great. A lot of those shots were looking real good, and it was all on Cringe Society, living up to the pressure. They might have to do it again here, but with a good clear. It is caught by Jules. Express might be looking in the wings to go for a shot, but it's still kept out. Jules still not managing to get that one in.
Oh, I don't think he was expecting to actually get the ball back after the wall. He thought Tuasos was going to clear it, but ends up coming to him, and so he had to correct himself and just misses it, tucking it in the corner.
And now with that, 2 failed attacks, Ground Zero put back onto the defense. How long are they going to stay here? It looks like not long, because Express has sent it all the way to the corner of the opposition side. Jules is going to get it even further up the field, and all the way to that juicy center. Waterfalls it down, but not quite into the net. They're still taking the shots, but it looks like Cringe Society have sent it back and held on to it.
If they've missed all 3 of those opportunities, it probably should have been goals. I don't think they deserve to win this match, at least.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's Cringe Society living up to them. A lot of them have been close and working really well for Ground Zero. But Cringe Society are just shutting it all down.
I don't know. I think it's just missed shots, honestly. The saves aren't being there. And look, they're just giving them opportunities. They should be putting these away, but they're not.
They are keeping the pressure up, though. They are keeping Cringe Society here in their side, 2 minutes down. At least they haven't succeeded a goal yet.
It's got to be a goal. No, Tuasos corrected himself. It's fine. Oh, man. How is it still scoreless when we're coming up to the halfway mark?
He's just making you sweat. He's just making you worry. But Cringe Society, they still haven't really got anything rolling here. They might find it here if they can just get it by Jules. If they can just get it by anyone here on ground zero. But every single time they just go for a 50-50, steal it away and put it back on the blue side. That's a good bump, but Decker gets into position almost immediately to keep it out.
Yeah, almost went the other way for Cringe Society. That was the first real chance that we've seen in this match. And they're keeping the pressure on here though, but that 50-50 loss for Torsos means Express is going to dribble this up, maybe catch it back in the corner, but Spido's will clear. And
it's like something's flipped now, as it's Cringe Society constantly on the attack here. Ground zero, they're getting better at this defense thing, as they do manage to keep it out, do manage to get a good clear, and this is quite centered. They might find something. Jules, though, sends it right to the side. And this is going to slow all the way down, although this is close.
Yeah, this is not nice. He did not get a good clearance there. The 50-50 coming out from Cringe was too good to kind of put that in a bad position for them, but now we're going the other way. It's a 1v1 here, but Torsos will easily clear this.
Yeah, and he's going to go all the way through the air, using all that boost, sending it over to Drippe as well, who goes to compete for it. But Spidoge in the end will catch it, looking to try something tricky around the net, but it does eventually go to Drippe in the corner. He's going to want to hold on to it, he's going to want to steal it. It looks like it's going to be his teammate that does so. They're still fighting for it here. Cringe Society, they've just turned the pressure on immediately.
I think one goal's going to steal this. I don't think either team's really going to score too many now as we come up to a minute on the clock, but just one mistake or one great play is going to win a game.
And it's a strong shot over to the top of the net here, but it just falls completely short as it goes all the way back to ground zero's net. They're trying hard to clear this one out. Drippe just looks to redirect it, but it's kind of saved by two people there. Now it's all the way over to the Cringe Society net. They're taking another shot, but all the defenders are here. They've got enough time to hold this one out.
This is a great game. There's some amazing shots, but they're just not finding the mark here. Always just a little too far wide. And oh man, they really need to put these shots away. Ground zero especially.
Oh wow, that clear though just makes everyone forget about the demo. Not enough time to do anything with it. Drippe would have loved to take a shot off of that, but it's stolen away by Jules. And now he's looking to get just a really good clear. Both teams 30 seconds to go, and it goes towards Cringe Society's net. They keep it out again. Express loses that 50-50. Jules looking to avenge his teammate. Express looking to bump any defenders, push them out of the way. With 15 seconds to go, they take the shot. But the defenders are still there. They're not pushed around.
Man, they're trying everything to try and put this away. Jules is there. I was going to say, if that was the goal that won the game, I would have been disappointed. But ground zero have the final say here as this goes up on the wall, but Drippe will probably try and see overtime with them.
And now we're in anyone's time. Anyone can score a goal here in 0 seconds. We've seen every team do it before. Big long shot, but this one might hit the ground. No one can catch it. We're going to overtime. 0 goals. Next one gonna win.
And we said if both teams play the best that they played, then we will see a banger of a game. And this is looking up to be what we expected.
Yeah, and now the pressure is really on right now. Let's see how long this overtime will last. We have yet to see a single goal, so this one could go on for a while, but a shot is taken. Spidoge will easily catch that one, get a good clear, even passes it to Drippe, who blows up. Express keeps this one in life.
You were worried, I was worried. I thought that was just going to sneak in and we were going to see
it was close.
An awkward goal, but yeah, the demo managing to be enough to save that from going in. See a little aggression coming out from ground zero here, and Decker with the big clearance, but this should be caught. As Jules actually has something to say for it, will catch this in the corner as well.
And they don't even go for it. Spidoge waits, and he does manage to steal it away, but it's still in the hands of ground zero. All they need is one good shot here, but they have to rush back as Cringe Society hold on to that one. They do not want to let one slide by in a counterattack.
Here comes Decker. He's been playing very well in this match, and can't give him too much time in the air because he will score on you.
Well, it's a shot by Jules, but Decker actually does manage to get in position, keep that one out. He's going to send it on down. But ground zero kept the pressure on. They've kept the attack going. That demo into Express could give Cringe Society the breathing room to maybe start something of their own here.
Comes Torsos, does beat Jules there, gets another touch, but the pass is not good to Drippe. It just kind of hangs in the air there. Means that Spidoge has got to rotate back, and Express will take this up, does get the dribble going, but Drippe coming back, gets the demo and says, not today, mate.
Yeah, most players seem to be opting to just demo the guy who's counter-attacking them. Jules, though, with a cheeky little jump over his opponents, but there are more of them than he probably thought. Drippe does go down as well. This could be ground zero, looking to extend it all the way back, keep this one continuing to overtime.
Decker just forcing his way here with no boost, but Jules is losing this 50-50. Express is in net. I didn't see him there. I thought that shot was going in.
Yeah, well, no, ground zero is still there, still ready to defend. And now Jules is keen for that one. Flying all the way across the field to catch it. Still doesn't manage to get it though. Cringe Society still pushing it forward. And you can see it could be Torsos here. Looking to take a shot, tries to send it in, and almost bounces off, but bounces it back to himself and says, I don't need no teammates here. Well, he does need a teammate here, but look at the shot, just bounces it off and is even in position for if it doesn't go too well.
Yeah, not bad. Good positioning to read that post hit there. Manages to clinch the game, and that's a 2-game lead in this series for Cringe Society. Definitely have snuck a couple wins here. It hasn't been one-sided at all, but wow, yeah, that goal at the end was a little awkward. I feel bad for Ground Zero there. It was a bit of unluckiness on the post there. But.
Yeah, I mean, that said, the clear was super awkward. Like, you send it basically back into the guy that just shot it. And even best case scenario, it kind of still goes kind of centered anyway. But there it is. Cringe Society now 2-0 up. I mean, this is not a close series, like you said. So Ground Zero certainly have it in them to bring it back for the reverse sweep. I mean, it absolutely can happen. Got to ask the question,
the pressure's on.
After that game, when they could have been looking at an even series by now, they're now in the position.
They should have. They definitely should have. I mean, they had all the chances. I think they commanded that game. I think Cringe, for the first game, commanded it, had all the possession, all the pace after maybe the first minute. This game was all Ground Zeros, and they lost it. They threw this game. They didn't put the shots away, and then defensively near the end, they started to panic, and as you said, just cleared it straight to the attackers who put it in.
Yeah, so now the question is after that, after the result of a 2-0, do they have the morale, the mental fortitude to come back in here and win 3 games in a row? 3 games in a row.
I hope so. I want to see it. I want to see a game 5. I mean, I called it, but I'm always wrong, so it's probably going to be a Cringe Society 3-0.
Just a 3-0?
Yeah, maybe. I think so. Maybe a 3-1. I think Ground Zero just need to put those chances away, but with how tilting that last game was, I'm going to call it. There's a chance earlier. I'll be quiet while that was going close to the net, but what I was saying is, if they put those chances away, then they wouldn't be so tilted. They would be well ahead, and I would say that they are the favourites to win this match. But because they couldn't put any of those shots away, it means that Cringe Society probably have all the momentum here. As Torsos takes a shot in an open net. Oh, sorry, yeah, Spido, sorry. Torsos had the shot blocked there. And that's an early lead for Cringe Society, and now Ground Zero up against the wall.
Yeah, wow, you can just see all the defenders fully out of position there by Ground Zero too. So Cringe Society, I think with that one, setting themselves up with all the momentum right there, coming in here on match point. Ground Zero ages away from that. And now with that first goal, very early on within 30 seconds too, that's a terrifying prospect to go against, especially if they get a good shot going here. Torsos in the wings, looking to bounce it from the corner to midfield. Who's there to catch it? Not in position, but looks like they should be shutting that one down. Is this where Ground Zero just turn it around, go for a shot? Jules looking for it, but Cringe Society have got back, but not for the third shot. Yes, they have actually. They keep that one out too. And now, Ground Zero have nothing left.
Torsos just jumping across the net to get that. Keeping his team in the lead there, but here comes Jules again. Can he win this 50-50? Does so, looks for the bump, cannot find it, and the save comes through as Decker takes us in the corner. He's gonna look for a pass here. Expresses up for it, but Drippy's in front of him, but manages to get the hit, but hits the post. As Jules comes in, hits the post as well. Decker's shot hits the post as well. Oh man, how have they not scored?
Oh wow, it looks like they're just trying to what? And that is the one that scores. That is the one that scores.
I have no words. What is Torsos doing here? Why is he cleared into the middle? All the pressure was off. The players are rotating back. Just control it, edit on the side, you'll be fine. Puts it in the middle for Jules, sets him up.
Just a misread of the field there. I mean, maybe imagine that Ground Zero are done and we're all rushing back, but yeah, you got to feel for that one. But Ground Zero finally get their first point since game 1, and so that's getting them back on the board now, but yeah, you got to feel for that. But also, let's not forget, Cringe Society put on a lot of good strikes. Hang on as it might go in here. They're going to take a shot. It is kept out for now, and that is a very dangerous clear, but he manages to make it work. Goes off into the corner, but Torsos, he sees a chance. He goes in for a steal. It just gets cleared over to Decker, though, and even gets it by Cringe Society to look for maybe something to get going.
And even I'm tilted into that. That was tough to watch. It's just,
yeah,
this is a crazy series, and I'm loving it.
My point, though, is that Ground Zero put a lot of good, strong strikes onto that, and they all got kept out until the very end with the random weird one from Jules.
Yeah, just a mistake from Torsos for sure, but I mean, that's going to do really well for Ground Zero's momentum here, as they couldn't find those goals and then get a lucky break there, and it could help them find that confidence in front of net.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we could even see another overtime if both teams work pretty consistently on the defense. A bit of a miss there by Torsos. He lets it just drop though to Drippe. Does mean the ball rolls around the midfield and then it's going to be caught by Ground Zero. But both teams are just not letting it by this midfield. And you're going to have to wait to see who's going to catch this one.
Oh, Torsos being a little nuisance there. Does pop it up for Drippe, but couldn't quite get the redirect on. As Spidoge takes the dribble. Can't beat Express though as it gets away from him. And now Jules will lead the charge as Torsos tries to deny him.
Yeah, Jules would have loved to get by him there just to go for that essentially open net at that point, but doesn't manage to get it. 2 minutes to go now, and Cringe Society still looking to get another one on the board. They've been putting the pressure on throughout this series so far. Now that essentially that Ground Zero attack is shut down, but that's a good demo. But a good, better clear by Jules means that it's going to give them the breathing room they need. Express is not being allowed to play today.
Yeah, Spidoge putting in self-isolation there by just taking him out of the game. And here we go. As Cringe Society have definitely got all the pressure going their way. They just need to find these shots as one comes on from Drippe, but no real follow-up from Cringe. And now the pressure's coming this way. Another demo. They're getting very aggressive.
Yeah, now with Ground Zero on the attack, though, you've got to say it's slowing them down. If it's going to be a good clear by Cringe Society, that could shut it down, and that is looking like a very good clear, especially if they can steal away. It's good by Express, but it goes too far to the corner. Torso's going to loop around, but actually wants to go and grab this one away. Does not want to let anything by Ground Zero start. That's going to be close to the net. And they rush in to try and shoot it, but it goes over now.
No!
Ground Zero's net. It goes too high. What are they doing? The Spidoge tries to find something, but the defenders are back. Ground Zero have returned. And now, with Cringe Society coming back, they're going to take their shots.
Oh, what is this game, Smite? Torsos should have sealed it there. It had the open net, but misses the double touch against the wall there. And now it's going the opposite way as Ground Zero's got all the pressure. This is an interesting match, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's on a knife's edge as well because we're so evened up in the score. Either goal right now could absolutely secure it. We could have an intense overtime. Jules would love to take the shot, trying to go up, wins the 50-50 as well to do it. And it bounces back to midfield, but they missed it. 30 seconds to go. Cringe Society see a net with the defenders rushing back. Can they find the shot? They do, but Jules is there in time. Goes over to Drippe, tries to steal it, gets a good clear as well. What's going on?
I think I'm crying. I honestly think I'm crying. This is too funny to watch. It's just, whenever I think a team's about to win this game, they miss the easiest chance, and then we'll just take a free goal where it's seen, but man, this is a madness.
Yeah, and here it goes. We might be going to overtime again, but who knows? Because in this game,
no. Oh no, are you kidding?
There's more on the table. What was that?
The ball was in the net and bounced, and now we're in overtime in game number 3 to keep Ground Zero alive. That could have been the 3-0 for Cringe.
And the players had hardly any time to deal with this as well. We're still dealing with it. They're already playing the game for like 10 seconds. And now, wow, I mean, what a crazy situation. But that's it. It doesn't matter. You've got to deal with it. You're at overtime now.
This is a banger. This is an absolute banger.
Ground Zero putting on their trademark pressure, taking a good shot, a good bump onto the goalie, but it's not enough. Cringe Society now making their play, now making their shots, but already Cringe Society, they didn't do it in time, and Ground Zero got back to defend.
Yeah, can Jules find a pass here? No, leaves it off for Express. He tries to get the dribble, but Spidoge reads it, clears it up now, and now Cringe Society catches in the corner, but no, a bit of a volleyball coming out from both teams here.
Yeah, and volleyball definitely seems to be the safe play they make. And wow, what an awkward little 50-50 there. They do catch it out though. Eventually Ground Zero wrests that one back, but it made a good bit of distance. Torsos sees a good little opportunity, going for a double touch off the wall. No one else though to take that shot from him. Now they have to go back and defend. Drippe just clears it back.
Yeah, some long clearances coming out from Cringe Society here, not willing to have the pressure on in their half, which is a fair call with how Ground Zero were playing in the first few minutes of this match, but Cringe Society are looking really good on this attack, and the aggression coming out from the bumps and demos are probably going to find them a goal if they keep this up.
Yeah, and they're still keeping it in this half. Ground Zero is still working to defend this one, and they're even stealing away that boost. You can see Torsos nabbing that one for himself. They can keep the pressure up. They could have denied him a whole lot of boost, but instead he's just going to clear it over here. If he can win another 50-50, steal it away, this could be a good setup for Cringe Society. Drippe keeps it over, but it's actually won by Decker. Pushes it forward.
Yeah, just needs to find a player here with the pass. Instead looks for the bump on Torsos. Couldn't quite find it coming off the wall. Pass over to Decker. Can Jules find the ball back again? No, I thought it was going to find it, but Drippe in the air to clear that. Now Express is the solo man up.
Wow, what an intense game. What an intense overtime as well as we pass the 2-minute mark.
No way!
Hang on.
With the new goal explosion as well, looks really nice, the Meteors, but great little redirect from Express here. Just to tap it over Torsos, and Drippe just left wondering in net there. And we're going to game number 4. This could be ground 0, starting to mount that reverse sweep.
Wow, I honestly thought Drippe would have been in position enough to catch that one out, but there it is. It's ground 0. Like you said, bringing it over to game 4. Maybe they do have it in them to do that reverse sweep and bring us to game number 5, but let's talk again about how close that one was. I mean, if you can believe it, closer than game 2. Goes to overtime. Almost didn't go to overtime. And then the overtime itself was quite long. And it ends like that.
That was the best match I've seen this season.
That was real
Hands
good.
down, that was amazing. Oh man, just back and forth mistakes and great goals and just interesting moments. And then that last second shot.
Oh my God.
How did that not go in and just end the series there?
My arms were a roller coaster. They were up, they were down, they were confused, they were on my head. I didn't know what was going on.
Sounds like my last relationship, but I'm hoping that ground 0 can now mount the reverse sweep, try and take us to game number 5. The overtime was insane. I want to see them maybe put these shots away that they're getting. They're getting some great opportunities. It's just converting them. That's where they're lacking, is that final moment.
Okay, let's go back to the start of that game then. Ground 0, strong attack. They kept pressure up for almost a minute, taking shot after shot. Eventually, one of them did go in by Jules, but I don't know if we really want to count that one. It was a bit weird.
It was definitely weird. They probably should have scored the other 3 shots,
Yes.
but handed the goal there for sure.
That is my point, though. That's what I want to bring up, is the fact that Ground 0 can put an attack like that on, and Cringe Society can hold it out. It's
Oh, no.
crazy. Oh, no, wow.
They missed that. No. Ground 0, please put your shots away. For the love of God, just put it away.
Are you ready for an even better game 4?
I'm hoping so. I mean, if we get to game 5, imagine what that's going to be like. The shot's still not going in for Ground 0. Cringe Society need to sign that post on a 2-year deal because it is saving them time and time again.
And Ground 0 should have been done, but they're still going. Finally, though, it looks like all of that boost is done for. They're going to have to start going back and actually defend their own net. Deca actually wanted to play for a lot of disruption there. Moving it slowly, moving it, trying to push it past his own
Teammate pinch, that was nice, but didn't really make of anything there. As Express with the pass back, but Jules is in front of the ball there. Couldn't quite find it in his stride, and that means that the pressure is all off for Cringe Society, but an awkward little pass from Spidos there means it's back in their hat.
Yeah, but it is just getting cleared back and forth for now, so we'll have to take a breather, see which team truly gets possession here. And it looks like it might be Ground 0, especially with that demo. Jules holds onto it and actually moves around for some disruption. Drippe, though, call him Neo because he's just dodging that bullet and keeps alive to defend. Imagine if Neo could dodge cars. I guess cars aren't as fast as bullets, though.
Yeah, it's very true. I think a bullet is much faster than a car.
We should make a bullet car. There's bullet trains.
There is. But
I think
back to the game anyway. We got a minute and a half and no goals. Probably should have seen one from Ground 0. Cringe Society now starting to get into this game, as we've seen in the last few, where they just don't start off well and then somehow mount some very good attacks with some good demo plays. And it's looking like this is playing out in the same script.
Yeah, now, again though, Ground 0 haven't put on their signature aggression there. They haven't got a really good attack rolling just yet. And we want to see if Cringe Society going to be put to the test. Express.
That's a goal. It has to be.
He just got it so
please,
far
okay.
forward. Deca. I thought
it was going to get saved. I was like, no, how have you not put this in the corner? But yeah, a nice little 50-50 win from there. Express did a lot of work to set this up for Deca, and he almost ruined the chance, but does put it away. Please, please put some more away before Cringe Society start to mount their attacks.
Yep, I mean, look, they're already in a good position to move us on to game 5. Cringe Society have had to work hard for their goals, so definitely not out of this world for Ground 0. They just keep that 1-goal lead, move it into game 5. Especially if they can make it 2. Jules over the heads of Cringe Society, but not all of them. Keep it out, but Ground 0 still going on this attack. Torsos rushing to steal this one away and get a good clear. And he'll do exactly that.
As Spidos under him, tries to find him, does find him. Spidos' shot hits the crossbar. Sorry, Drippe's shot. Spidos came flying into the end there. You see, they still got the pressure on. Spidos will turn for this, but couldn't quite get it off the wall. And Torsos will steal it. It's popped up. Drippe will back out though and give the pressure over as the whip comes through, and Drippe will keep going. Torsos will try and get to this, but it wasn't quick enough.
Yeah, too many players reacting just to a split-second decision there, and not all of them in position. So what could have been a goal for Cringe Society ends up in Ground 0 just running the clock down even more. Torsos with a good little pinch there. Sets it up well for the rest of his team, but Jules was already in the air. Deca was already in front of the net. but so it was Trippe to keep that one out. Express keeping this one forward. Torsos stops it in its tracks. Doesn't steal the ball away though. Two members of Ground Zero going for that one. Could be a good setup by Torsos.
That was dangerous. That was almost a goal. Jules had a lot to do there. A bit of an awkward save coming back onto it because of the power from the pinch, but did well enough, and now is bringing this up for another attack. Ground Zero's way, but Demo's coming up both ways, and we see a 2v2 for a minute here, but neither team managing to get the better of that. Ground Zero trying to get it out of their half now.
Yeah, and with the respawns coming in hot, it's now sitting in the center. Look, Cringe Society desperately looking for that one more goal. The Ground Zero happy to run the clock down, especially with these good clears. The dribbling doesn't make it past Cringe Society. Jules, the lone defender here, holds onto it, gets a good clear, but Spydoge takes a shot straight into the face of Express, who keeps that one out. Decker couldn't get the clear there, bounces off the corner of the net. Cringe Society looking for one more shot, but Jules shatters those dreams, but doesn't shatter the hopes of Cringe Society just yet.
Yeah, Cringe Society playing a little defensive now. I mean, there's one goal down and there's only a minute left on the clock. I don't want to see them all rotate out when they have a good opportunity like they did just 10 seconds ago, but we see a shot from Trippe here.
Oh,
actually a pass to Torsos. Are you kidding me? What a goal.
And Express doesn't see this coming at all. He expects it completely and it's just a shot, but instead it goes right over to Torsos, who just places it in the corner there. What a beautiful little play, what a beautiful example of teamwork. And to even it up with just over 40 seconds to go. This is a tight game.
Torsos just hanging out like a fly on the wall there, and I thought that Spydoge was looking to just kind of get the double touch going, beat a defender, but instead looked for the pass, was one play ahead of everyone, and manages to find his teammate there and put the goal going their way and evening up this match. Could see another overtime in game number 4 here. I would love to see it.
And Ground Zero is so close to victory, but Cringe Society can practically taste it right now. One more goal will win them the series. They're pushing it up forward right now. It's now in their court. They've just got to hold control of it here. Start taking some shots that missed by Decker, though, just as let Jules pick it up instead. Redirecting it.
Down.
They're going to let it fall. Very likely going to go to overtime here as both teams struggling to find a shot here. Came very close in the last game. Let's not jinx it.
The shot was good, but blocked. There was 3 keepers in net. It would have had to be something spectacular to beat them. And here we go, overtime. Can Ground Zero see us go to game 5, or will Cringe Society stop it here?
Yeah, both teams have found success in overtime so far, so can't count either of them out.
No,
yes! From the kickoff, from the start. Jules into overtime, go to game 5.
The only thing I'm happy about is that my predictions are right. We're going to game 5. I'm not a liar. Jules with a great dribble off kickoff there. It only took 8 seconds for him to put that away. Great goal. Ground Zero seeing that one out. We're going to game 5, Smite.
Oh man, you can never count a team out like Ground 5. You can never lose faith.
Ground 5?
Ground 5. Ground 5 because it's going to game 5.
Nice.
And so here we are in game number 5. I think, yes, you called it. This is kind of what we expected coming out from both of these teams. So now we're in a very tense game. We're in a very tense position where both of these teams want to win. They want to move up the leaderboard. It's going to be very important to stay up there, kind of contest Mindfreak for the top spot. Whereas the other one kind of falls down to the bottom of the top half, the kind of mediocre middle of the pack team. Of course, in a series this close, it's hard to just say that and call it true, but it's going to be how it feels.
I'm going to put it up there. Both these teams are looking like playoff teams. They're playing exceptionally well. Neither team is playing really bad. It's almost like spectacular goals coming out. It's got to be some mechanics and some pretty good goals to kind of break down either of these defenses here. And oh, man, I can't believe we're going to game 5. I'm so happy it's happening. This has been one hell of a series.
I mean, both teams have to work so hard to get their goals. Yes, some of them are a bit weird. Some of them kind of like get let through. But the ones that are defended properly, everyone's in position. Ground Zero and Cringe Society both have to work so hard to get that ball in. They've got to do creative things or just
You see how many demos are coming through from both teams, even on defense. They're just blowing everyone up just to make it that much easier to get a goal through these defenses, because both of them looking like brick walls. I mean, the last few games have only been 1 goal in it. I think every game's only been 1 goal, so yeah, very interesting series here. We're going to game 5. We're into it already.
Well, I mean, what, 3 of them have gone to overtime? We may even get the 4 out of 5 overtime series again. A good kickoff coming here in the final game of the series. Cringe Society looking real strong. It's Ground Zero that's caught it, but they struggle to get it by midfield. It's sent right back to them.
Trippe here with the shot, though. It's good, but does get saved away by Express. Didn't quite get the save on the board, though, because the game decided that it wasn't.
No, it wasn't going in.
That doesn't count.
Wasn't going in.
I always find that a bit interesting when a shot's on target, someone saves it and doesn't get the save.
Well, then when it looks like it's not going in and it does come up, and you're like, oh, I guess I did save it.
The game's broken. We'll blame Zion.
I don't think they'd be very happy if we did that.
No, we won't, but we're carrying on here. Ground zero, getting the early aggression again, as we saw in all the other games so far. Can we see them mount an actual attack and get some goals in for the reward here?
Well, it's going to sound strange in Game 5, but I feel like they've got to have something a little different to reliably get it by Cringe Society. These attacks where they just shoot it to the net, get it into a good position to pass to a midfielder, and then take the shot, they're just not working. It's just constantly, every pass is 50-50 by Cringe Society, and they're winning most of them in defense.
Yeah, a lot of interceptions I've seen, reading the passes quite well, and it's stopping a lot of these attacks in midfield. You see one there, Torsos just swiping it out of the pass from Deca.
Oh, good by
Nice little
Express.
50-50 from Express there, but Deca a little too slow to get to this, and this will pinch close to net. Don't believe it's going in, but Jules will do everything to keep it out anyway.
Oh, Spider is actually missing out on that one, so Jules gets to keep pushing this one forward. It is contested though. Cringe Society hold it in the corner. Question is, do they get it even further by? And it looks like they might, but Spider puts it off to the side. And now Cringe Society get to take their shot. Jules keeps that one out for now. And they may have shut it down, but Drippe keeps it over by the net. Cringe Society, Torsos, keeping the back in midfield. But it looks like they're just playing too patient. Not looking to take any shots here.
I said before this game started that
Express.
if both teams played their best, we would have a hell of a series. I think the first game, they weren't. They definitely weren't playing their best. It was a bit interesting. It was good, but I would say it was more mistakes and double commits here and there and lack of communication. But after game 2, it's been the best from both these teams. It's been some spectacular goals to kind of inch the leads either way. And man, there's been some saves and some shots for sure.
Yeah, and finally we're back to that style of Ground Zero keep it up against the net. Finally, though, that is shut down. Finally, Cringe Society do get it all the way over to the Ground Zero net. And they steal it away here. It's awkward in the corner. Torsos tries to get it in, but there are too many defenders in that area. So can't get by all of them. They haven't finished yet. They take another shot. Jules, the savior of the series, keeps another one out. Goes to steal it away as well, but it's dead center. But the defenders are still there in the net to keep that one out. Cringe Society looks like they've slowed down and looks like that one's over.
Nice little pass back from Drippe there instead of trying to turn around and get the catch. Torsos will have a chance here, but it comes back to Drippe. Shot, it's a little too close to Express to really test him here, and Jules will get this and bang it up to the corner.
Rock solid. Rock solid from both teams on defense so far. Now it's Cringe Society who might be put to the test if Ground Zero can hold on to this one. And it looks like they might be able to do that with Express going through the air to contest that one.
Nice little shot here. The redirect trying to come from Spidoge there, but couldn't quite find it. Express will hit this backwards, catch it on the wall, and now try and find the pass. Does find it, but the keeper there in net. Little bump there, but Jules' shot was wide, and that means the Ground Zero's chances of snatching a lead here with a minute to go is just snuffed up.
Yeah, the defenders were just pushing them all around, all over the place. Drippe in position to, a bit close on that one, but does keep it out for now. 1 minute to go, and we still don't have a goal on the board just yet. This is a tight game for a tight series. And now Drippe looking to make the game-winning shot, but it's kept out by Ground Zero, and they can't even continue the attack. It's rolling towards the net. Maybe they could have found something there, but Ground Zero have to find it here.
Deca.
On to Deca. Express with the pass, Ground Zero with the goal and the lead.
Yeah, Express is playing very, very well. Defensively and offensively, he's set up a lot of the goals for Ground Zero. And here's one here, gets a great pass for Deca. Deca beat 3 players with that shot there, managed to bounce it under 2 and over the last.
And it's what I said before, and both of these teams have to work so hard to find these goals that 1 minute left, and Cringe Society needing to pick up one more to even things up. It's a hard ask right now. They've got a good position to do it now. They've started pushing it up, but you can see they just have to rush so far back lest they let one roll in by Ground Zero.
I can see a goal going Cringe Society's way. I think we're going to get a Game 5 overtime. I hope we do. It would be amazing if we did. The series has been everything so far, and then Game 5 overtime to clinch it would be the icing on the cake.
Well, they've got 30 seconds to do it. They're in a great place to do it as well, in front of the net. They're just looking to push these defenders around.
No.
They take a shot, but Express once more keeps it out. It's still being shot at the net, though. They're not finished just yet, but they run out of boost. Drippe, the tank is empty. He's looking to fill it up. 10 seconds to go. They need to find the shot now or never. They have to go into the air to do it. Ground Zero are going to make them fight for it. They're going to push it to the ground. It's all around
there
down
it is.
And Ground Zero with the reverse sweep take down Cringe Society and move closer to the top of the ladder.
Oh man, what a series that was. A 1-goal game at the end there. Oh, Express played so well. I have to hype him up. He was a questionable player for me in past weeks. This week he put all my doubts to rest. He stepped up, assisted a lot of the goals, was there in the last man, bought so much time for his team to rotate in a lot of those situations, especially when Cringe was looking for those demo plays. He was often that last man and would just buy so much time for the respawns to come through, and I've got to give it to him for MVP for sure.
I mean, yeah, like overall MVP, Express, it's got to be him. I just want to honorable mention, shout out to, if I had to pick an MVP for defense, Jules. Always there, saves so many goals, especially in the later end. But Express overall is going to be the MVP.
He was just everywhere. Express was just dominating the game. He was in the midfield, so wasn't really getting much of those saviors. Instead, was just buying time for his team and really helped them clinch that win there.
Yeah, so there it is. Express will be the MVP for this match in a series that could have gone either way for the teams and even for the MVP player position. But there we go. Express picking that one up, and wow,
I'm sweating.
Let's take a breath after that series. Because wow, what a show that was. What a great series, but wow. There it is, Ground Zero getting the reverse sweep of all time to take down Cringe Society. Guys, after the break though, we do have another match coming up. It's going to be Team Esper seeing if they can take on the undefeated Mindfreak.
It's going to be a close one.
Take a breath after that series and get ready for the next one. And we return to you with more Rocket League action here in the LPL Pro Rocket League ANZ series, brought to you by Barocca. Of course, we've just had a pretty, dare I say, kick-ass series to open off the day. Ground Zero with a, yeah, that's probably a better word.
Banger.
Ground Zero with a reverse sweep 3-2 victory against Cringe Society. A really big victory for them, really needing to pick it up to just solidify their position at the top, well, near the top of the leaderboard, currently at the top of the leaderboard, until Mindfreak play right now against Team Esper. So that's the match we've got coming up for us. So that first one was quite close. Do we expect this one to be close in any case?
I'm going to call this one close as well. I think Team Esper are definitely on the rise. Obviously, the only team to stick around. We said it every week. So they've got that under the belt, but Mindfreak playing so well. I mean, they are sitting top, undefeated at the moment. So it's going to be a hell of a series. I think Team Esper are up against it because Mindfreak have the momentum, but both teams on paper are looking like a good matchup.
Okay, well, let's open things up with Team Esper's roster. The Three Little Rats, previously known as Max's Rancid Rats, but this time they are Delusion, Frenzy, and Steve playing as Team Esper. So these guys, I mean, we've seen them week in, week out. I mean, who's standing out to you the most so far recently?
I think Steve's been popping off. I think last season he wasn't really a standout player for me. I think Delusion kind of took that card for the Rats as they were. But Steve this season's really stepped up for me. He's been that playmaker. He's putting in the goals and he's getting the leads for his team.
Okay, and their opponents, the undefeated Mindfreak this season so far. 3 victories under their belt. Looking for a 4th one here today. It's Ghost, Requiem, and Fever. Requiem is the guy who's really standing out to me on this roster.
Requiem stood out last season. He was an MVP contender for sure. I think Siki took it in the end, but yeah, he was a very good player on Ground Zero. I think they were strange to drop him, but I mean, it looks like they're doing well as they took down Cringe just before. So, I mean, Requiem's doing as well, good as well. So I think both team and player kind of came off better in that. It was a win-win.
Okay, well, we've talked about Requiem a little bit. Let's talk about someone else, Delusion, and how he compares, because these guys have a similar play style.
Definitely similar play styles, looking to be that kind of playmaker. I mean, the stats don't really prove it here, but a lot of the time they are the ones kind of scrapping for it and looking to get the leads for their team. I think Requiem's been putting away a bit more than Delusion because Steve's been popping off for Team Esper, but yeah, I think these two are a very similar matchup.
So coming into this one, again, you mentioned it could be a close one. Why would that be? I mean, Team Esper, they're sitting further down the leaderboard. Mindfreak completely undefeated. In what world makes it this a match where Team Esper could win?
Well, I think in what world is Mindfreak at the top of the standings undefeated? So it's definitely pretty crazy, and I think any team can really take down any team at this point. Maybe only Havoc at the bottom there is struggling to find any win, but
they were close.
They were close. They're getting better, but yeah, I think Mindfreak looking good. They've definitely been the most solid. But I think Team Esper are definitely on the rise, and they are a team that I think could make playoffs if they just string a few wins together, and this is one that they're going to have to get.
Now, something I want to praise Mindfreak for is their consistency. Is they've come every single week and played at a certain level, which is enough for them to win every single series. And so, question is, do they need to rise the level of that consistency? Like, do they need to play a little better to continue their win streak, or is this good enough? Is this working out? Are they currently playing consistently like the best team in the league?
I don't know if they're playing like the best team in the league. I think they're just playing consistent enough that they have been stringing the wins together. I think the other teams that you would put higher up the standings have had those off games, but Mindfreak, as you said, just being consistent, and it's been enough.
They haven't really had an off game.
Definitely, and I think Fever being the rookie that's just not had any real mistakes. I haven't faulted him at all. He's just kind of done his job, and it's been great to watch.
Well, you don't have to talk about him much.
Yeah, exactly, and he's just let the two star players, I would say, in Ghost and Requiem, just pop off and do what they need to do, and yeah, he's happy to do it, and I think that's working for the team. They found their dynamic, and they're sticking with it. Okay,
well, Team Esper, again, let's go back to how they can win, because these guys have had the team synergy so far. Is that going to be enough? Are they going to need to up their mechanical play, or what, as we go into game number 1?
I think that's the key for them, is their synergy. You know, being together for a year, you've got that knowledge of rotations and how your teammates like to play. You just kind of know where they are without even looking, and so that's going to really help them. But all players in this team need to step up, and that's how they win. They play as a unit. Yeah, and
Mindfreak now 4 weeks with this roster, at least in this league, and now it's already looking really good throughout the series. Can they continue it here? As they're finally now put onto the defensive as, well, actually, Requiem's just going to clear this one away.
Yeah, Requiem didn't really need any help there. Ghost came flying in at the end looking for a pass, but Requiem just did all the work. Yeah, I mean, he was there. He could have maybe been in the middle, and Requiem could have found him, but just a little miscommunication at the start of the match here, and the redirect not coming through from him either.
Yeah, and so far it does seem like Team Esper are starting to get put on the defensive a little bit more as Mindfreak find their footing. Requiem is just having the ball of a time here, just hogging the ball the whole time.
It's interesting how they play, though. You see a lot of teams where they'll rotate one man out and they'll keep forcing men in, but you see Mindfreak, it's often just 2 players stick up and one will stick back. He won't push up until one finally rotates, maybe at the end of the play, and they'll buy a little bit of time for their team to rotate, but it's always that 2-man of offense and one in the defense, and it's outnumbered in the offense, but somehow it works.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter how many people you keep back if they don't sit in front of the net, because Mindfreak, they find a pretty easy goal, I've got to say.
Yeah, Ghost not even needing the second man. He's just going to do it all by himself, sets himself up, wins it over the top of Delusion there, and puts Mindfreak with a 1-goal lead.
Just like that, Mindfreak showing why they're probably going to be the team that walks away with no losses after week 4. However, they've still got the rest of the series to do so. Now we get to put them back onto defense, but every single time it goes near their net, it just gets a real good, healthy, chunky clear.
Yeah, it was Delusion's pass there. Didn't really know where his teammates are. I was kind of praising them for the communication and knowledge of rotations, but it didn't really back me up there.
Yeah, and a demo onto Steve. Puts the defenders down 1 man for a few seconds. It's going to be enough with him out of position. Another demo,
that was
actually.
A good demo.
Although, not at the right time, because it is caught up by Delusion, who just gets it all the way back, keeps it away from his net, keeps the ball out for now. Mindfreak looking to put their second one in. It is pushed off to the side, though. Frenzy working hard to keep this one away. Working hard to get it over to the net, but it is pushed away by Mindfreak.
Yeah, Steve's collecting this here, though. If he can beat Fever here, this is a good opportunity for them. The Requiem reads it well enough and manages to clear it. Frenzy's pass to Steve, not great. It was behind him, so that all that momentum from their attack has just been snuffed out.
Yeah, Team Esper have taken their time getting it up this far into the field. Finally, Frenzy takes it very far, and now dropping in front of the net. It actually goes right in front of it, right past the defenders.
It was just a mistake on the wall here. You see Requiem, I believe? No, it was Ghost on the wall here. Probably should have got this. Did actually take a touch, but didn't put enough to the side, and Delusion just snatches it up and puts it in an open net.
And a good slow setup play by Team Esper there. It's a kind of a unique way to get the ball in the net, but it worked out for them in the end. So real excellent for them to even things up, but they've got to do a little more if they want to take the win.
They definitely forced the mistake. It wasn't just an individual error or anything. They put the pressure on, they put those passes and shots on, and
that's a shot.
Puts the pressure, but Steve here under it at the other end, but shots getting blocked by him twice there, and he managed to keep his team in this game.
Man, Mindfreak are going for some great clears here. Every single time it gets close to the net, they just send it right back to the sender. You might see them do it again, though, as Team Esper are looking to set it up, almost trying to go underneath Ghost there as well. taking another shot, but it is all but sent back. Looks like Mindfreak should be shutting this one down.
Yeah, that attack there just a bit one-dimensional. We see it on the other end. Ghost's shot was good, but Frenzy flying back manages to keep it up. No one really following it up from Mindfreak. They thought it was in, and just gives away that opportunity to get a lead again.
Yeah, and Mindfreak are just pushing Esper all around in their own half. And this good touch off the ceiling, just inches away from going in, and that would have been a beautiful shot, but nonetheless, stays out, and the game stays even.
Man, we've seen some close misses here today, and that was one of them there. Had the flip reset off the ceiling, but couldn't quite get it under the bar, and keeps this game even with a minute left on the clock. We see Team Esper with the pressure here, but Fever clearing it over, I think it was Steve there.
Mindfreak, it looked like they had it cleared as well, but Esper have pushed it back. Frenzy wanting to be bumping people around, but gets bumped around himself. Steve off of the corner, actually goes right by Mindfreak.
Good block.
He's just getting pushed around though. He can't keep attacking. So now Mindfreak looking to dribble it down, actually off of Fever's head. They don't get to take a shot though. Esper steal it away, and Esper
Sorry, Fever was being a bit ballsy there.
Yeah.
He kind of fake Dark Delusion. He managed to get a little contact on it and turn it into a 50-50, but really cheeky from him. I didn't think he was kind of the player to go for that.
Oh, wow. And Mindfreak, actually, they continue to push it back. They can keep it by this halfway mark. They can at least force the overtime. It's pushed over to their net, though. A really good clear coming out from Esper. They want to move it to the front of the net here, but with two Mindfreak members there, they're going to have to win some 50-50s. Up the wall it goes. Requiem really wanting to fight for this one, almost pinching it into the net there. With a few seconds to go, Esper wanting to find this one final shot. They don't want to go to overtime. They want to finish the game here. Dropping closer to the ground, though, overtime.
That bump kept this going into overtime there. He could have found that double touch there, but managed to get bumped away from the ball. And we're going to see it in game number one. One goal is going to take the lead here in the series.
A whole lot of pressure at the end there by Esper. They worked on some good shots there, almost managed to find it in, but go all the way back to overtime. Can they find themselves in that position again? May be able to, as they keep going for these 50-50s and actually winning a good amount of them, but Mindfreak finally find a good one. They finally roll it by the defenders, but Steve snags that one away over the heads of Mindfreak, looking to take a shot, but it's stolen away from him instead.
Mindfreak have looked really solid in defense. They haven't really shown much on offense yet. There's been a few plays here and there, but nothing too teasing for Team Esper to panic.
Yeah, nothing out of this world. Just a good standard setup, kind of like this. Thanks to the shot. It's still in their field though. Fever has to steal it away from a few defenders and actually messes around with them for a little while, but at the end of the day, it just buys time, and we're in overtime.
You know, sitting as this game, maybe in like the first half, where they're just sending two players up, and sometimes it's been enough, but it seems like with Team Esper just playing the way they are, they're going to have to send a third man up there just to strengthen up that attack and maybe just put the pressure on a little bit more, force out a mistake.
It does feel like Mindfreak is just stopping them at every single opportunity, every moment, every pass on their own side. Keep that defense up. Steve has been looking for some good clears before. Some good solo dribbles as well through the air. Not looking for it at the moment though, as maybe a shot might be taken here. Ground zero though, it is stolen away from them by Frenzy. Fever, wow, he gets a real good clear out of this one, but I feel like it's just going straight back to Esper. Actually, the demo makes it go right through him, and Fever wins the game in overtime.
I have no idea how he demoed there. He's going for the ball completely. Steve should have got maybe the push there. I just landed on top of the shot.
Bounced off the ball itself.
It was interesting, but I think either way he was going to get that goal there. It was just ahead of him in the play, and Fever snatching that one for his team, taking the MVP in that match there with the most amount of points on his team. And solid win. Again, we said they're a consistent team, and I think that's consistent Mindfreak. They're just kind of doing enough.
I really liked Esper's one goal, though. The way they managed to get it, they worked really hard and just made it super awkward for the defenders to do anything off the wall.
Mistake, yeah.
Yeah, so forcing mistakes, looking really good, but that's their only goal. So now we ask the question, is that the only way they can score goals? Is non-conventional, maybe a little less standard, or do they just have to up their game? Do they just have to make those ones work?
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. Maybe just taking a player out of the game. Often they have that last man there. If you just demo them, maybe get a redirect in an open net, there's lots of opportunities there to kind of counter Mindfreak when they start to mount their attack. But I don't think that Mindfreak really had too many attacks. There wasn't that opportunity to counterattack. So, yeah, as you said, they've got to just break down that defense if they want to get more goals for themselves. I think they did play well. Team Esper was just unlucky to kind of lose it in overtime there to just a cheeky little ball from Fever. It's an interesting one. It's very close, and I think that Team Esper are definitely in this match.
Yeah, and it's great to see because remember, this is undefeated Mindfreak so far, and Esper with a hope of victory here. I mean, we went to overtime, so it feels like we very much can go to more than just a 3-0. Maybe, but we'll see what Mindfreak let us have. Or maybe what Team Esper will let us have.
But it was Team Esper that took Renegades to Game 5 as well. So definitely a team that has potential to take down these Titans. And Mindfreak is starting to look like a top 4 team. So if Team Esper have something to say for it here, it could show good, but they really need to string some wins if they want to start making it to playoffs.
Yeah, well, it could start here. You have to make some good work, though, as they're already one game down so far. This opening to game number 2, though, has been pretty slow and kind of back and forth at the moment. No team really holding on to the ball for an extended amount of time.
A lot of space in this game. We saw in the first one it was a lot of in the middle, just getting shut down before the play even started. But see, it's often in the corners in this match, and there's just a lot of space for players to kind of do what they want, but still getting snuffed out at the last moment. So a lot of goals coming through in this match.
Wow, Steve really hoping for something there. Requiem also hoping for it too. But 3 defenders, pretty hard to get by, and so that one will stay out. Although, wow, very close there by Fever. He thought there was still something there, but the defenders had got back. Another shot comes out by Mindfreak, and Steve let this one go in very close.
Yeah, that was a good shot by Ghost. I think Steve was expecting it the other side of the net, but instead fakes him up, puts it closer to him, and had to panic and kind of flip at that one. Manages to keep it out on the line. Good little start from Mindfreak here, finally starting to show that they have it in them to kind of take more than 1 goal lead.
Yeah, although it still makes me ask the question is, they can make these attacks happen, they can keep striking the goal, but every single time, it seems like Mindfreak have just kept it out. So the question is, can they do enough?
Both teams playing really well defensively, actually. It's just getting snuffed out in the midfield a lot of the time, and these plays aren't happening, but you see a little opening for Requiem here. He does find it as well. One of the Team Esper players was coming down off the wall, so it had a little gap to put this in and does so.
Yeah, just a good little pass. No one to really clear it out of as well for the defenders. 2 of them actually committing for it too, so a good little lead there by Mindfreak, and very standard, very tried and true way to get the goal. And so with that, they still are looking like the oh no, it does get caught out though. We don't have to worry about it just yet. They're still taking shots at it, but I think the kickoff goal dream is dead.
He should have put that in though. It hit the crossbar and didn't get the luck of it. It didn't come down for him, but even the follow-up from Ghost, it kind of looked like he backflipped out of it instead of getting up to it. So could have been a 2-goal lead for Mindfreak here and maybe put this game to bed early. Instead, Team Esper still fighting for this one.
A 2-goal lead would have been just insurmountable for Esper to come back, or at least it would have felt like it. But for now, we stick to 1-0. Mindfreak looking for that juicy little 2-0, still searching for it, and taking another shot, and they found it! 2-0 up in this game, Mindfreak.
Still half of the game to go. Team Esper's not out now, but it has been very difficult for them to find a goal. And, you know, as we said in the first match, they had to force a mistake out of Mindfreak to play so consistently, especially in defense. They're up against a tough task here now. I
think this is the first time we've had a 2-goal lead since game 1, and I'm not even sure if there was one in that game either. And so, Mindfreak with the strongest lead we've seen for quite some time. Although it is going towards the end, yeah, they should keep this one out for now, but 2 goals? Can Team Esper really drag this one back?
Yeah, Mindfreak on the attack again. It could make it 3. It's Fever being a little menace here, but couldn't quite find the pass as this player was demoed just before. A good little pass from Steve, but the shot is wide from Team Esper.
Wow, still not finding that one. Although Steve looking to make a shot, but actually just passing it up high, waiting for his teammate to catch it. That's 2 bounces off the wall, but no third teammate, so that one slows down.
Yeah, they're trying the right things by getting these passes off the wall and forcing out a keeper, but it's just they're not putting it in a position where the teammate can get to it first, and that's really what's hurting them with that final ball there. So you see Frenzy not even popping over Fever there and not even starting an attack. Steve with the whiff, they're starting to crumble a little bit here.
Yeah, it's just going right by their heads, and it almost went right into their net as well, but they somehow keep that one out. All of Team Esper rush forward to try and just force it the few inches left in to the net there. They don't find it though.
Illusion's up for this double touch, does get it, but hits the crossbar again. How many times have we seen that woodwork keep it up?
Yeah, MVP, crossbar for sure this series. Although Cringe, Esper still taking another shot. That's again just too high, sent by the defenders. Still keeping it out. Wow, this one is so close. No one's pushing these goalies around.
Yeah, I do want to see some demos, some bit more aggression coming out from Team Esper. We've got a minute left on the clock for them too, so they've got to find a goal soon if they want to take this to overtime at least and keep them in the series.
Yeah, so Mindfreak, a strong lead, making to look at a 3-0, but two defenders are going to shut that one down. They're rushing back. Fever trying to find something. Where are his teammates?
Oh, he's been so naughty. He's just absolutely been a menace up there in attack and just being very solid in defense. Frenzy not really finding the shot there. Probably could find the angle, but Requiem will see this by a lot of time by just keeping that in the air. 20 seconds to go now, and Esper are not looking like they're going to take this overtime.
Yeah, they've worked so hard to find even one goal in this game and still struggling to do that. 15 seconds to go, and Mindfreak, they're back onto the defense here, but you've got to imagine they're just looking for these big, long, time-consuming clears.
That's it. Definitely, there it is. We're going to see Mindfreak take a 2-0 series in this two-game series. Two-game lead in this series. Man, I can't even get the words out. That first game just messed me up.
You got there in the end. That's what's important. Mindfreak looking to get there in the end too. Wanting to just clean this one out 3-0. It looked like in game one, Team Esper could give Mindfreak a bit of a run for their money. But Mindfreak in that game looked like there was just no question.
Yeah, we said before the match that Team Esper have got to play as a unit, and that's how they're going to do it. That's how they play well, is when they're all kind of pushing up together, rotating well. But this one, it felt like they were trying to play like Mindfreak style, where they just send those two men and have that last man to kind of clean it up at the back, like a sweeper-keeper. But it just doesn't work for them. It's not their play style at all. They just need to stick to what they were doing in game one. It was working. They managed to force out some mistakes. Could have taken game one, but instead now resorting back to a different tactic, and it's just not working out for them.
Mindfreak, though, again, it just goes back to what we said before the series. They're just a consistent team who come in here, they get the job done. Sometimes it's close, but sometimes it's just very one-sided like that. And now with a two-game lead as well, they've got the momentum, they're on match point. We saw a reverse sweep in Series 1 with Ground Zero coming all the way back. Is Team Esper a team of the same caliber? Do we see them actually coming back? I want a realistic answer from you.
If I just look at game number 2, I would say no. If they play more like game number 1, it is possible, but it's still difficult. I think best case scenario, it's probably going to be a 3-1. I don't think we're going to see a game 5 just with how Team Esper have been playing. I think none of the players have really popped off this series. Who knows? I mean, this is the Rocket League. Anything can happen.
Yeah, well, if they want to make it 3-1, they're going to have to win the first game here. Team Esper still fighting for their life against Mindfreak, who are on the match point. They're on the defense, but they are taking it slow, happy to just steal the ball away at the easiest chance.
Team Esper, though, carrying on this attack from the kickoff there, the pressure. Mindfreak finally starting to mount their own attack here as Ghost stays up. Requiem will just clear that to a corner. An awkward little demo there for no reason.
There's always a reason to demo, and you know it.
It's one of those ones where you just type wow in the chat.
Look, man, always go for the demos. Mindfreak back onto the defense here. I've got to praise them on their defense throughout the series so far. It's been pretty rock solid. Let basically a single goal through the net. And really just making Team Esper work so hard for these goals. But also able to clear it back. Able to just send it by. Requiem going to fly through the air to catch this one. Off the corner to midfield. Almost by himself. But it is stolen away. Esper keep that one out.
Should have got there. He had the boost. He managed to collect it in the corner as he was flying past. So probably should have got ahead of that ball and got around it to put it in the net. But instead, we're kept scoreless in game number 3 here. Frenzy shot hits the crossbar again. How many times have we seen shots like that?
Yeah, and it goes over to the corner again, so you might see a few more. Esper trying to get it by Ghost here. Ghost just getting the good boomer there. It's basically going and buying all the toilet paper at the store, but they still keeping it in Mindfreak's side, by the way. And Mindfreak are still holding strong. Another shot might be coming out soon to the net.
Double touch?
Off the top. Still off the top here. A third shot comes out, and Steve has to rush all the way back to grab this one and defend it out.
Team Esper needed to put that away. I can't believe that Mindfreak kept it out. Great defending from them to just kind of throw their bodies at it and keep it out of the net. But, oh, Team Esper, please put something on target. Please have a goal.
Yeah, I mean, the setup has been looking pretty good and almost able to crack Mindfreak. Mindfreak, though, finally get it over to the blue side here. If they can steal it away, win this 50-50, Steve might not be able to get it done, but Frenzy certainly can. And so it does get lobbed over to the net. They're getting it into a good position, but it's into the hands of Esper. They're going to have to win some 50-50s to take some good shots. Fever trying to get those good shots, and it's still continuing. Mindfreak, if Requiem can find that one, he doesn't, so Esper should send this one back.
I think you hit the nail on the coffin at the start of the match by saying that Mindfreak are just consistent, and that's just done it for them. That's all they need. Is no one's really making any mistakes. Fever's been exceptional as a rookie, just not panicking when the pressure's on, and no one really cracking in this team so far. And it's just helped them take down teams like Esper that are actually a solid team, and I would put them in the playoff bracket, but tearing them apart.
Oh, just a little high there by Requiem. Not going to send that one in, but does stay near the net. Fever bounces it off the corner, takes his own shot. He don't need no team. Fever on the board for Mindfreak.
Fever's played exceptionally well in this match. He's been fantastic in defense, never really panicking, and manages to clinch that goal at the end there. And 2 minutes left, 1 goal lead. I mean, that might be enough because Team Esper are not looking like scoring.
Yeah, they have not scored a goal for a long time. They did manage to hold off Mindfreak for a little while, although almost taking the shot there. Could have got their first one. Would have loved that, but Mindfreak have just been so good on their defense.
It's just these long clearances and then managing to win 50-50s in the corner there that just buys so much time and just eats up at the momentum of the game. And then when they
just
finally,
like
just a little cheeky fake and boom, you're away. You've cleared the ball, you've stopped the attack, and you've just wasted a lot of boost from the enemy team.
Little worry for Mindfreak though. It looks like they could be starting to play with their food. They're not that far ahead that they can just let this one slide, so they still have to close this one out, but it looks like they're still serious enough to do that. Requiem wants to steal this one away as well, at least push away the defender, and what a big loop around. Taking the shot too, but still a bit wide.
I thought he was going to score that. I thought Steve was kind of flat-footed on the wall there and wouldn't get to it, but he did well to kind of read that quickly, react to it. 2 demos coming from Mindfreak there, though. An open net, a little bit of lag. Couldn't quite get it, but
wow.
Ghost's shot doesn't quite go in either. Mindfreak could have sealed the game there.
Man, the lag set that up for the perfect slow-motion shot as well. That would have been so cool. But regardless, they keep it out. Team Esper, I'd say stay alive, but with 30 seconds to get a goal, maybe they're just delaying the inevitable here.
Oh, but here's the shot here. If he can get this off the wall, no one can. Requiem comes swiping that away, and now they've got an attack the other way. This could seal the game if Requiem gets to this. Frenzy's up on the wall, though, does miss it. And it does pinch in. Fever sealed the game. That's it. There's no way Team Esper is scoring 2 goals. They haven't scored in about 10 minutes. Over 10 minutes. I think that's it. 3-0 to Mindfreak. I'm calling it.
Man, done and dusted there, securing the game in the series. Frenzy, what a way to do it too. And man, Esper, it felt like it was close, but they needed one very important thing. And that was the ability to actually score. Actually just finalize those attacks.
I think a lot of teams need that. I think Ground Zero was struggling with it in the first match, but managed to find their form. Team Esper, on the other hand, couldn't quite break down the defense from Mindfreak. So we see Steve here just dribbling it. We're probably going to see this at the ground. Nope, Frenzy's going to keep it up. We're just going to play with it. He's going to put it in his own net to make this 3-0.
Hey, 3-0.
3-0 in the game, 3-0 in the series. Mindfreak sitting solo in #1.
And wow, okay, so again, this is the result we kind of expected. 3-0 coming out from Esper, and maybe we thought Esper could take a game here or there, but that said, Mindfreak get it done. They get the result of 3-0. Let's turn our attention to the MVP though, because like we were talking about, there wasn't a whole lot of shots. It was mostly coming out from that defense.
I gotta say it's Fever. Definitely Fever. I think was so solid in the defense. I mean, he's a rookie coming in. This is only his 4th game in the league, and he's just not crumbling under some immense pressure, especially in that first game, I'd say. And then after that, managed to find the goals that clinched it for Mindfreak there. So for me, I've got to give it to Fever there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give it to anyone else, right? Fever, especially in Game 3 as well, picking up 2 game-winning goals. I mean, yeah, there was the 3rd one. I don't know if we really count that one.
That was more frenzy.
Yeah. But Fever picking up the 2 goals that won them the game, won them the series, playing consistently through the defense. I mean, if he wasn't, then Mindfreak would have let more than like 1 goal through the whole series.
Yeah, I think he is very key in this team. I think all players are. In past weeks, we maybe saw Requiem and Ghost kind of stand out as those offensive players, but Fever this week kind of put his head in there and managed to clinch a few goals and probably the games for his team. So yeah, definitely deserved from Fever.
Well, there we have it. Mindfreak 3-0 in the series, remaining at the top of the leaderboard, undefeated. Coming up next, though, we've got Fury versus Renegades. More teams looking to contend for the top spot, so make sure you stick around after the break. Welcome back, all of my favorite viewers, as we return halfway through week number 4 of the LPL Pro ANZ Rocket League Championship. Watson, I mean, we've had two pretty different series, I've got to say. One incredibly close one and one not so close one. Mindfreak just taking that 3-0 out and remaining at the top of the leaderboard. Now we continue, though, over onto Fury versus Renegades. Let's talk about this match.
Well, I think I put the last two as probably the closer matches of the day. This is one that I would call the opposite way. I think Renegades are a fantastic team, finally getting the ball rolling. I mean, in the gauntlet, they're 5 wins in a row, so Fury up against it today. But, I mean, if Anthus pops off, I think he's the key player for this team. So if he pops off, we could see something magical.
Well, let's take a look at their lineup. Anthus, of course, as you mentioned, is going to be playing today, but of course, Kenny, Salmon, and Scarth going to be following up as well. So we always talk up Anthus. We always talk about why he's so great, but Kenny, Salmon, and Scarth, I mean, what are these guys got to do to bring Fury up?
Kenny Salmon, your favorite player, Smite, you love his name and you love the player, so...
Yeah, I liked his name once on episode 1 last season.
I'll never let you live it down. But yeah, I think those two players, if they want to try and take down a team like Renegades, just need to be solid. I want to see no mistakes from them. I say it time and time again. Probably the players that make the most individual mistakes. So if they can just kind of, you know, clean that up. We saw them take out the win in week 1, so they look good then. Just bring that week 1 Fury back and we might see an upset.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the defending champions. It is the Renegades coming in here. Not the hottest season, but it's been pretty good so far. CJ, Akami, and Siki. This new Renegades lineup, it's been looking pretty good so far. Dropping one important series to Overt, though. But let's see if they can come back.
Definitely need to bounce back. That was not a great game from them. I've got to say, for me, Siki just hasn't really stepped up to the performance we saw from him last season. He was our MVP and has almost been non-existent in the first few weeks. I know he's got it in him to just pull goals out from anywhere, so I want to see him start to pop off. This is probably a team that they could score quite a few goals on, so could be a high-scoring match here. Yeah, he's going to have a great opportunity this series, but let's see how it goes. Our key player matchup, though, it's going to be two players that play very similar roles, Kenny Salmon and Kami, so let's talk about these guys. Yeah, I would put them as the saviors of the teams here. As you see, Kenny Salmon with 2.8 shots, probably because they're conceding a lot of shots and they're up against it most of the game. And you see on the other side, Renegades with Kami with 3.6 shots per game because they are just constantly on the attack and that's how they like to play. But even with one save a game, that's still pretty impressive for a team that likes to play so aggressively.
Yeah, and actually I want to expand kind of on that with Kami taking just a ton of shots. Renegades as a whole in the games that they've been winning, that they've been losing, they've been high goal games. They've been taking a lot of shots, and specifically in their last series against Overt, a lot of them were not going in.
Yeah, we saw they had the ground zero problem. It came on where they just took so many shots and they just wouldn't go in. It was crazy to watch. So definitely need to tighten that up. And I think Siki's that man that can just score from anywhere, but we haven't seen it this season. I want to see him pop off again. It was magical to see him play last season. Yeah, I mean, look, other teams have had some great duos coming in, you know, throughout the previous few weeks. So I want to see that coming out from Renegades. I want to see something like Siki and Kami linking up and just basically acting like a hive mind. Because it's when teams do that, I feel like they get one good duo that is just working flawlessly together and they can set up those attacking plays. Yeah, I think that's probably CJ and Siki that could find that. I think CJ on the Chiefs last year always played that man that would set up the ball and just go immediately for the keeper. Just eyes, tunnel vision, I'm going to take him out. And if he can do that, just pop the ball up for Siki and just go for the keeper, then there's going to be an open net. Surely Siki can't miss those.
Yeah, I mean, even then, though, there's plenty of other ways to go about it. You can just, you know, bounce it from weird angles. Because these players are used to it, right? Sicky's used to catching random passes at a split second's notice and sending them in. So, CJ as well. This is saw it a lot on the Chiefs last season. I want to see it coming into, I mean, maybe not this series. Maybe they want to practice it this series, but and the important series coming up later on when they play some of the teams that are contending for the top spot.
Yeah, I think they've got Cringe
That's when they're going to need
week,
it.
So
Cringe.
they're going to have to show something good here. Even though Cringe did lose their game, it was very close against another top team. So, yeah, I think Renegades need to strike a bit of fear in the Cringe Society camp.
Okay, well, Fury. Now, I mean, we've already talked about his teammates, but Amphis, right? I talked him up a lot right at the start of the season, but I've got to say, this game, the first series of the season is really the only place he stood out to me. He's yet to really
I don't know.
shine that lighting star.
I think he has. He's been that player. I mean, I would put it down to Kenny Salmon and Scott just not backing him up enough. The individual mistakes at the back and not letting Amphis kind of have his possession and his to take charge of the games in the offense. But you still see it from him. He's still a menace in the midfield, just kind of beating players and dribbling it past two most of the time and setting it up. And it's just his teammates that need to kind of step up to his level, especially in a game against Renegades. They really need to be there for it.
Well, Renegades is going to be the biggest challenge probably so far. It's going to be an incredibly hard series. Everyone's calling it 3-0 to the Renegades.
But we have seen some upsets every week, so if I was going to call any, this would probably be the upset.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, if this one happened, for sure. But, I mean, is that going to be what you're calling it? Is that what you're going to call the series? Is it going to be a 3-0? Are you going to jinx it?
Oh, I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to call either way. I'm going to call a 3-0 to Renegades then, in the hope
in the hope?
In the hope that I'm wrong. But I was right in the first... Oh, no, I was wrong in the first two matches, I guess. I thought they were going to be...
I mean, you called it going to Game 5 in the first series.
Yeah, but that was it. And then I called Mindfreak taking it, but not as dominant as they did. So still not being 100% correct. I'm going to say 3-0 to Renegades in the hope that we have a Game 5 win to Fury. That's their name. I was going to say Amphis.
Yep. Just Amphis.
Just Amphis, the one-man show.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are just getting the players ready into the lobby. Just a few more moments, and we'll be ready to get into the match. So let's continue on a little bit. Or actually,
they're ready.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're ready.
They were waiting for you to finish.
Fair enough, man. Sure do talk a lot.
Here we go. Kenny Salmon with a little early aggression there, but does miss the ball quite funnily and leaves a bit of pressure.
Oh, no.
Scarf misses that there, and there's some early mistakes already coming out from those two players that we highlighted.
Yeah, everyone just seems to be an anti-magnet for the ball, or at least having the same polarity, because magnets can still repel each other. But anyway, magnet science aside, a shot's taken over at the net. Oh no, Sicky, what are you doing, mate? Misses the easiest shot in the world.
Oh, Sicky, man. Oh, you were an MVP last season, and you would have scored that time and time again, but just hasn't found his form this season. I think he just needs a goal like that to get him rolling.
And it hasn't been a minute yet, and now we're already getting questions about Renegades. We're going to have a repeat of last week, and the shot's taken against
We're
Fury.
not. I think they're going to take over this game. They've already had the aggression on. It was just one miss there. He didn't read it quite well, but Kami putting a great shot past Amphis there in the top right corner. Top bin, some would say.
Yeah, and just real awkward clear from Fury as well. Sets it up nice and easy for Renegades. So already the questions that we were raising, maybe they've already been answered, but only time will tell. Let's maybe get at least one game under our belt before we really get anything solid down. Sicky driving it up the field. Pushed out of his hands though, and well, actually Sicky's going to catch it over here. It was Kami driving it up the field.
Renegades, all three of them, like fighter jets moving up the field there aggressively. I'd be very scared if I was Fury. That is not a sight that you like to see.
Well, I mean, they found the answer. It's apparently just blow them up. A shot, though, from Sicky. Well, I mean, kind of Amphis.
I think Sicky missed it. He could have put this in, hits it off the post, gets very lucky that Amphis was diving in for this. As he puts it in for him. This is crazy already.
Yeah, I mean, I think Renegades had someone to follow that shot up in case it missed, but...
They usually do. There's usually a player waiting very close. They're not often defending.
I like to think they planned it, though, just to get that morale damage in onto Amphis.
Yeah, just kind of strike fear at him, too, and make him question his decisions.
You dare go up against the Renegades. Well, already 2-0 up. Oh, wow, actually that miss in the midfield, though. Sicky saves it, though. Keeping it alive. Kami going to send it over to the midfield, actually just the opposite corner, where it's scooped up by Kenny Salmon. And
defensive work from Siki there. He maybe can't put the shots on, but can at least save them at the other end.
there's Kami just digging around for some defenders to shove all over the place. A shot passed over to Siki. He was looking to find something, but Ampus has grabbed it away. It's just stolen away by Renegades every single time.
Oh, Siki shot, hits the post, as always does. I gotta stop picking on him. I'm starting to bully him, I think.
Well, look, as long as you pick on the other players that do it too, then it's all right.
All right, I will, but no one really doing it here. I guess all of Fury's not really showing much. They're just kind of constantly on the defense, as you usually are against the Renegades. So a little attempt there. Siki's shot again against the post, and another shot there awkwardly. Somehow, in between the explosion there behind it, there was something happening, but a goal didn't go in, and that's all it's important.
And WoW bounced in front of the net. A shot was taken, but it's kept down by Scarf. It's still going though. Kami just waiting to come up and take a strike, steal it away. He does do it. Siki grabs it a little late. Ampus taking a shot from a long way away. It means it's never going in. Siki, what's he going to do for us this time?
It was nice to beat the player, but no boost to really make any good pass come out there or make a play. Now we see Fury with a little bit of aggression, looking for the demos and bumps, but now all three players are up. One has to rotate back. Siki not quick enough to get to it there first, and instead now Fury's going to play it out from the back.
And over the heads of Fury, but a little too slow to really pose any threat. Kami keeps it over here though. And Renegades, I'd love to see a stat like percentage in side of field, because it feels like 90% of the game
yeah,
has
I would
been
say
spent
90%,
here.
especially this match. I mean, other ones as well. It's just kind of their play style.
That's just stopped even there, right? I mean, it's just impossible for Fury to get it by them. A little to the left though, a little to the left again, and Renegades don't find a goal in there yet. Fury holding strong, but that clock is ticking down. Oh, Scarf actually pushed around. Someone from Renegades coming to catch this one. They are, but Siki thinks this one is done and dusted, so he's going to move on back. Actually comes back, passes it over to CJ, who takes an almost beautiful shot.
Yeah, great save from Kenny there. It was kind of directly at him, but still had to jump and react to that, as it was a very fast shot coming up from CJ. Great pass from Siki as well to find it.
Yeah, and now Siki again. Oh, actually taking it away from him. Fury actually getting probably their longest attack so far, but it is already cleared back. Our Renegade's going to go for the 50-50 up here in the air. Siki doesn't actually win it, so it goes over to the net, but it's pushed away. Ampus going to fight for this one too, but CJ probably going to be the victor.
Longest attack, but it's probably only lasted under 30 seconds, as you see. Renegades just completely dominating this game here.
And it's actually Renegades hitting the ball most of the time, but off the top of the net. Renegades going to keep that one out for now. Siki pushing it forward, 30 seconds to go. Fury need to find 2 goals. I don't think it can be done.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough task. I mean, maybe if it was one, I could say that a little mistake at the back from Renegades could cause it, but a mistake from Fury here is just going to buy a lot of space. The shot is blocked by Kenny, rotating back, but here we go, Skype with the shot. Hits the post, and no, it's definitely game then. If you're not going to score that one, you're not getting the kickoff goal.
Yeah, Renegades pushing them all around the place, and eventually does go in. It's a feel-good goal, though, because with 2 seconds to go, I mean, you've got to have the best kickoff you've ever seen to get another one in.
A lot of shots there probably should have gone in.
Yeah.
Ampus cleaning up in the end, a good shot to beat 2, but now they need a kickoff goal. I don't think it's very likely that's going to happen.
Yeah, and Renegades even then can just push it over, keep it rolling along the ground, pick up game number 1 in a very decisive looking victory. Fury getting one near the end. I mean, how much do we want to put credit into that one? Is that Renegades kind of maybe with the clock a bit low, not caring too much, or is that something to think about for Fury? Did they really get one by?
I think the Fury started to put a little pressure on at the end. It was good to see. I think the chances weren't really there. There was a few shots that hit the post that probably should have tested the keeper, but...
Oh, they were being pushed around a lot on the attack, though.
I would say the last minute was an even game. The first 4 minutes was all Renegades, though.
Well, you see, 4 minutes is a whole lot more than 1 minute.
That's all it takes.
I mean, with that, Renegades get... Well, I mean, they essentially did get an insurmountable lead 1 minute to go. Even if with Fury increasing their play and getting a better attack, they still only have time enough to get 1 goal. And so if Renegades just take that first 4 minutes and just easily pick up 2 goals, then I'm expecting a 3-0. After that, I mean, can we expect Fury to play as well as they did in the final minute for the rest of the series?
I want to see them carry on the momentum for sure and start this match off strong, but I think Renegades are going to start off again. I think they're probably going to make a bigger lead now. They've had that first game under the belt. Those kind of they had to warm up their hands and you know, get playing in the game again and get their heads straight. So I think game number 2 is going to be a very tough ask for Fury to come back.
Yeah, and it even feels like, dare I say it, Renegades have warmed up. Because even like you said, it was a bit shaky at the start of game 1. It feels like they've really found their footing. A good kickoff. If Siki can steal this one away, then it can be even better. But actually, a good shot. It goes close to the corner. Defender scrambling for that one, but Kami comes in for the follow-up shot. And the 10-second goal is already on the board.
Yeah, you said it. A scrambling save from Kenny there, and Amphis managed to keep it up. Kind of just sets it up in a perfect angle for Kami there to just dunk it on Scott. And the 1-goal lead only took 10 seconds this time, and Renegades already starting to mount their charge. Yeah,
what a difficult way to start your second game against the Renegades. So such an early goal, and it looked nice and, I mean, it was a good kickoff, but it did transition into just a standard-looking attack. We might see that again. Siki, actually a real good bounce up into the S. CJ gets a good angle, but it goes over to his partner there, Kami. Gonna pick that one up. I mean, none of them can really take a shot just yet. Still waiting for that beautiful little angle. That's the shot. CJ doesn't find it in, though. Just a little too slow, not enough power. Fury now looking to put all the power into that shot. To the left, though, means no one needs to defend it. And so, they may be already shut down.
We could have seen the best chance for Fury there, and Amphis couldn't quite tuck it in the corner, so really need to take the opportunities when they get them because they are far and few.
They're actually starting to grab a few of these opportunities now, but Slicky's going to shut that one down. Scarf also demoed in the background. Tried to steal it away from Amphis. It's going to be Kami that has to get the job done, though. And it's still bouncing close to this net. Who's going to send it in? It's not going to be Siki. Amphis steals it away from him. Make sure he can't take the shot. 2 defenders. Well, actually now attackers from Fury going up for that ball. Amphis takes a shot, and it's by all the defenders right into the net.
I honestly don't know how he had this much space. You see a double commit to start this off from them, and then awkwardly catches it there. Kami thinks he's going to hit in the corner, but just kind of fakes him out and then puts the shot where he needed to. And that's a goal for Fury to tie this one up with 3:40 on the clock.
Yeah, what an important goal to get as well. It shows that they can even things up, take it toe-to-toe with Renegades, especially for the rest of the series. So that's a good clear. Look at where it's landing as well, but Siki is in position to grab it and at least get a good clear away.
I've got to say, Siki's done well at setting up his teammates. He might not be finding the shots like we saw from him last season, but he's at least putting it in good angles, and a lot of time where he's actually looking for the pass, puts it almost perfect on a plate for his teammates.
Nabbing away all that boost as well. Kenny Salmon going to slow down the Renegades and actually push even further forward. That demo on the Siki must feel pretty good. Can they steal it away? Kenny can do it. It's still just right into the hands of the Renegades though, but every time, Fury is stealing it back.
Fury managing to take charge in this game a little bit, trying to mount their attacks and keep it in the Renegades' half. I mean, we saw it last season with Renegades.
Oh, the shot!
And there it is, the lead for Fury. I was about to say, we saw it last season with Renegades. Whenever it was in their half, they didn't like it when their playstyle was kind of, they were getting a taste of their own medicine. And here we see it here, just pressure coming from Fury, and it's got themselves a goal.
And Fury have just flipped a switch. Now that they can finally get it past Renegades' halfway mark, finally get it to their side of the field, they can actually start the fight. They can actually find the goals in. 2 goals, feeling really great.
Yeah, and I said Kenny Salmon and Scott have to play consistent, and I think in this game number 2, they definitely have, winning a lot of 50-50s in Renegades' half as well, not just doing it defensively, but offensively as well. But Amphis, that man to watch, has just put both those goals away and given his team the lead.
Yeah, it does send it into the hands of Siki though. CJ bouncing it over, but straight into the hands of Fury. And even Kenny does manage to get a 5, and Scarf looking for a good clear. Over to CJ though, who doesn't take a shot. Just lets it go over to Siki, who tries to roll it into the net. Over to Kami though, he's pushed out of the way. Another shot's taken, but it's blocked by Kenny. I think Fury have kept this one out.
Yeah, good from Kenny there to kind of just put it just past that final man reaching for it. And his team in the lead here. Now they're starting to mount their own attack. Can they catch this? Does get a little bump there on CJ. Ball leaves his grasp here, but does catch it again in the corner. Gets a touch, but hits the post. Passes it down to Kami, who will look for the pass for Siki. Siki's up to this. Kenny Salmon beats him to it as he ran out of boost. CJ will collect this in his own half.
Oh, almost such a good play by Renegades too, but Fury keep it out, and they just make them work way too hard for it. Siki catches it over in the distance there. It's going to be a shot, just a little high though, over to the hands of Renegades. But every single time, Fury are clearing it further and further.
Another double commit. It's usually those 2 you see that are double committing as well. whenever Amphis has the ball, he must be saying, "It's mine," and they just leave it for him. But Kenny Salmon and Scarf being a bit indecisive there, the first real mistake of this match for them.
Well, with 1 minute to go, now we're starting to get a little worried for the Renegades here. Still need to find one more goal. Kami maybe looking at his watch as well as he's rushing around, trying to find his way past Amphis, who's making it so hard for him. CJ still can't get it done either, so now we're back here in front of Renegade's net. Scarp up into the air, goes for a redirect in front of the net. It's a shot, but it's blocked out by the Renegades. Scarp looking to make it one more. Doesn't do it though, fakes it out. Now the Renegades gonna push it back with all 3 members.
Yeah, Kenny Salmon playing defensively there because they obviously don't want to give up the lead, but if he pushed up, they might have found that third clinching goal in this game. 30 seconds now for the Renegades. They got to get this out of their half and start to mount their attack.
Yeah, and it's just like a reversal of game number 1. Renegades have been on the defensive so often. Sicky trying to find it, muscling his way by 2 defenders, but couldn't get it all the way.
Almost bullies that one in past 2, but didn't have enough boost to force it in. As we see Sicky shot from halfway, stopped by Amphis. CJ in the corner misses it. Kenny Salmon gets it past Sicky. 4 seconds to go. The shot is good. Hits the crossbar. Scarf hits the post, but that's enough. Fury takes game number 2. We're going to game number 3 with a tied series.
Yeah, not even needing that final goal in the end there. Fury already taking the lead. Renegades not able to get it done in the final minutes. Wow, Fury evening the series up. Looks like your prediction may be wrong again. Well, did you say Fury could take a game?
I said that Renegades would take it 3-0, but I was hoping that it would go this way.
Yes.
So I'm going to claim it either way.
All right, well, that's good enough. The heart's in the right place. But yeah, Fury evening things up. I mean, we had the questions for them after game number 1. I think they've answered them.
Yeah, I think Kenny Salmon definitely stepped up in that game. I mean, we saw on previous weeks his mistakes kind of cost his team games. Here, his strength and his consistency won them this match, I think. His 50-50s in the midfield set it up a lot of the time for Amphis, and he put his opportunities away, and you can't really say the same for Renegades.
Yeah, and it does feel like Amphis is getting his space to shine and actually finding a lot of these shots, and a lot of it is by Kenny Salmon, who's setting him up, making sure that he has these plays. Kenny Salmon also, with a ton of saves throughout game 1 and 2, working really hard on the defense, so overall having a really good effect for his team.
And I got to say, Scarth, not being how Kenny Salmon is and just kind of popping off, but he's doing enough. He's consistent, he's there, he's doing his job. That's all we need for Fury, and I think letting Kenny Salmon and Amphis kind of shine is working for them, so keep it up, and you could see yourselves mounting a lead in this series over Renegades.
Well, Renegades 1 game down. They've been in this position before, of course, but already looking to get that one back, take the lead in the series again, as they certainly are expecting to do so. But an awkward kickoff means that now Fury get to go on the attack. Now Fury get to push it back. Renegades, I mean, they only had 1 shot. Renegades have already shut it down.
Amphis is such a menace in his 50-50s. He's just always in the way, and you can't really clear it when he's there. Renegades going to have to try a new strategy if they see him chasing him.
And there he goes again, just stealing it away from Renegades. It's buying time, it's buying distance for the ball, keeping it away from the net. He's just so angry. So aggressive.
It's crazy to say that this player's only had 3 games under his belt, this being his 4th, obviously, and playing with such confidence. You don't usually see that from a rookie, but man, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun to see. And it's great because it's working as well. And Renegades almost don't know what to do, but they're looking to take a shot instead. It's going to be sent over to CJ, who sends it to Kami, but Kenny Salmon's going to be the one that makes it difficult. Now over to him, over to the net. It's cleared away by Renegades, and Kenny is going to be the one that wants to catch him.
I think in terms of the region and the league, it's great to see so many of the rookies coming in and just playing with confidence and playing well and showing up against tested veterans in this league like CJ and Kami and even Sicky here, and it's just, yeah, it gives me hope for OCE. Maybe we can finally do something at Worlds.
Well, it's a bit of a shout out to the grassroots community of Rock League here. I mean, these amateur players get so much experience able to compete in the things like the Gauntlet every week. So, and they get to play against players like the Renegades.
I mean, definitely, and I think it's a shame that Worlds isn't on because I'd like to see maybe one of those rookies make it there and kind of test themselves against the world, but maybe next season there will be and they can do that.
We'll have to see. Time will tell, but back to the game right here and now. Still 0 apiece, and it's going to be the first shot. Well, not the first shot, but first attempt at getting a goal there, but Fury not finding that one in. The Renegades trying to do the same thing. It bounces in and out the net. Doesn't go quite all the way in, though, and Fury keep that one out.
Yeah, Kenny Salmon double committing, helping Amphis bully that one out of the net. As we see the pressure going the other way now, though, because they couldn't really keep that pressure on. Scarf will collect this in the corner, look for the pass, does not find it, though. It was more of a shot than a pass in the end.
Yeah, and CJ's going to find this one, looking for the pass to Siki, who doesn't find it, doesn't catch it, over to the hands of Kenny. Now it's going to be Fury sending it all the way up, over the nets. No one else to pick it up, though. Oh, God, those cats, I can really hear them.
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's the worst car noise ever. And Kenny Salmon just angering me with that. It really grinds my gears. I think I'm tilted.
It's actually one of the things I had to draw on one of the shows I did a week ago. I had to draw Kenny Salmon's engine in like a minute. It was a very poor drawing, but just on my mind, and there it is again. You can hear it, especially now that I'm pointing it out.
Maybe that's what's helping them here. Renegades tilted as I am and not able to clinch a goal in 3 minutes gone on the clock now. And honestly, I think this is anyone's game to take it here. Maybe one goal could seal it.
Yeah, this is just kind of incredible to see. Renegades don't very often hit a brick wall like this, but now they might be able to find their way through. But all members of Fury have now returned and kept that defense up. It's just so hard to get it by these guys. And actually, Amphis comes in with another 50-50, and all the Renegades now have to rush back. They're running out of boost, and Scarf finds his first goal of the series.
Yeah, Amphis finds the path, and Scarf finds the goal. I was going to say, this game is starting to remind me of when the Ninjas took down Renegades last season. Very similar things happening here, where Fury are just bringing the game to Renegades and they can't handle the pressure.
And just like you were saying before, Amphis just going for every single 50-50, and when he finds it, it's just a surprise sometimes to Renegades. And felt like they were very caught off guard there.
This is looking like it's going to be a great series. I think Renegades can find a goal easily enough. They've got the talent in their roster to do so, but if Fury keep it in their half, though, it might not happen.
And especially if they can find one in the net too, but this is going to be not such a good clear by Siki, as it's still caught out by Fury. Finally, they get one all the way to the blue side here, and it is still going to be caught up by Fury, and wow, Renegades still just going for the bumps on the defenders, but they're dodging them too. Fury are just playing on form today.
Yeah, still errors here and there, but Renegades not really punishing those errors, and maybe not expecting them, because most of the time they are being pretty solid. It's not whiffs, it's more the double commits and the space opening up for Renegades, but all it does is buy a little bit of pressure for Renegades. They're not converting it just yet. 30 seconds to go, they've got to mount something.
And just like in game 2, you're starting to sweat if you're a Renegades fan. Kenny Salmon just lets it roll in. Cool guys don't look at explosions. Amphis picking that point up, 2-0. Fury are about to pick up 2 wins in the series. I mean, I don't think Renegades can get 2 goals in 21 seconds.
Cool guys don't steal their teammates' goals. That was, I've got to give it to Kenny Salmon. I'll bow down to him. That was impressive to just leave that.
Respect.
Great self-control. I would have easily tapped that in.
Doesn't want to steal away the Golden Striker Award from Amphis.
Yeah, I think Kenny Salmon's a better man than I, but we'll see.
Yeah, you'd steal it.
I definitely would. 10 seconds to go. I think Fury are going to clinch game number 2 here. Unless Renegades score something here and get a magical kickoff, but waterfall down, and the clearance by Amphis means that it's not going to happen.
Wow, and Fury take the lead in the series, 2-1 so far. Imagine, and you may not have to imagine, but
a world where Fury wins?
Think about a world where Renegades lose this series, more importantly. That puts them in the bottom half of the leaderboard, puts them down with all the other teams who have only picked up 1 win. And Fury move further up. I mean, yeah, they overtake Renegades.
They've got 2 wins. So they'd go 2-2 if they lose the series. Yeah, but I see what you're saying. They would definitely be lower down the table, and it might even hurt their chances of making that top 4 with teams like Mindfreak playing well.
Well, I mean, because last season, of course, we had the whole Attack of the Invisible Ninjas fiasco with Renegades, but and they've already had their ticket for that. They've already had a loss against Overt, which wasn't like, if you're power ranking and trying to plan how to get the playoffs, you kind of tick the Overt box before the season and say that one's probably going to be a win. You lose that one, you only get one of those. Because if you lose this series, suddenly playoffs look all but impossible.
Yeah, but we did see from CJ in the Chiefs last season as well, where they kind of faltered at the start of the season, didn't really click, and then as they came into playoffs, that's when they started to get the ball rolling. Obviously didn't take out that second spot, like the great run from Canberra Havoc knocking them out, but it could be the similar thing from Renegades here, where they're just not clicking early and then start to mount it closer to playoffs. But great performance from Fury here. I can't take any credit away from that.
Yeah, let's not seal the deal for Renegades just yet, though. They aren't out of it out. just yet. He's still looking to win the series and looking to start it off strong with a few shots.
Yeah, good little shot there from Sicky as he tries to set up his teammates here. Amphis puts this in a dangerous position, but clears it himself as well. He'll probably catch this as well, knowing what he's doing the rest of this game. Kenny Salmon knocks this away. And all pressure's off from that kickoff.
Yeah, finally a good clear, but Sicky just does nab this one straight back, and it's right back to Fury's net. So they are on the defense again. Amphis, though, wants to steal it away from everyone and almost manages to do it so far, but Scarf, his teammate, is backing him up, trying to steal this one away. A great demo onto CJ is going to make this defense a little awkward. Sicky has to fight for this one. He can't just let this one by, but Amphis might have won that one. Kami, though, comes in as backup. Wow, everyone's in backup.
Yeah, the pressure's still on the Renegades here, though. Can't clear this, as I don't really think they've got much in the tanks here. No real boost. Kami picks up the 100 in the corner there and clears it, but just gets sent back to Sicky there. Redirect trying to come through, misses it, though, and Skype will clear this with no problem.
Yeah, good clear, keeps this one on the board, though. So, Fury stay alive for a few more seconds. Now Kami dribbling it by, but Amphis, as always, comes in and takes it off his head.
This is just always there. Every time you try and pass it, he will just intercept, just really hurting the chances of Renegades ever mounting a proper attack. And they've got to get it past him first to start to put some damage into Fury.
Yeah, all right, going to be a shot taken by the Renegades, but it is blocked away, cleared to the halfway points. Now a shot from Kenny Salmon, actually placed in the corner, but the defender keeps it out. CJ working hard on that one. Sicky moving up, looking to just redirect it to a teammate. It's going to be Kami off in the wings. Couldn't find his shot, though, so now he's got to send it midfield.
Yeah, but Amphis there beating him completely, not even making it a 50-50, just 100 to Amphis. Is the pass coming through as well, the shot, but it's blocked by CJ. Scarth pushed up for this, but Kami's got all the time in the world to make something of this. Can't quite get the flip reset. CJ comes down, tries to get the shot. This is in a dangerous part, but Scarth clears it. Amphis collects it, flicks it over Sicky, and that is the attack done, I would say, but it's still mounting. I'm going to say it's done. I think Fury can clear this unless something bad happens like that.
Yeah, it's a little awkward here in Fury's corner. They're working on it, but they eventually do get it out of there.
Amphis
takes the shot, a little to the left though. 3 defenders all there to catch it. Now Renegades rushing forward. It's going to be Kenny Salmon who blocks it, keeps it away from the net.
Amphis again, just putting in places that are awkward for Renegades, and they can't really read what he's going to do, because sometimes he'll clear it to the other side, and other times he'll just leave it, so they're getting fake dart. Being a real menace in defense as well as the offense.
Yeah, but Renegades are doing the same thing. They're just constantly going for these 50-50s. Kenny Salmon probably going to have it stolen away from him into the hands of Kami over there. And they get a good clear over to the corner, but I mean, just like before, it's Fury contesting it back, sending it back to the orange side.
Sicky popping this up for Kami, couldn't quite get it in front of Kenny. He was on the wall already. Amphis gets this, is in the air, does have the boost, I believe, gets the flip. Can he use it? No. Whiffs it to the side. There was 3 keepers in net. A little demo coming from Scarf there. Aggression finally starting to mount. 1:30 left on the clock, and just 1 goal from Fury could win them a series.
Yeah, but 1 goal from Renegades can keep it alive and go to game number 5, and they're looking to make that shot very soon, but so well cleared by Fury. Keeps it in the corner. Makes it so hard for Sicky to do anything like that.
Salmon couldn't win it over Kami now, and 3v2 in the offense here as he passes it down to his teammate, but Kenny Salmon coming back, managed to flick that over them. Here it is for Scarf in the middle. Sicky beats him to it. Can he get the double touch? Does find it. Shots on. Kenny Salmon saves it.
Yeah, they're keeping it out for now. 1 minute to go. Renegades still not looking like they're done, though. Keeping the attack going. Kami has to go and grab some boost all the way back to get it. Actually has to go back to pick up a save just on the way. And still, they keep it forward. Fury, I mean, their defense is looking good, but I don't expect them to get a goal in any time soon at this rate.
It's dangerous, though. Scarf had a difficult task because he had to kind of come off the wall in front of the corner of the goal there to get that. Did well to redirect himself to it. Amphis here will block this, but as far as Sicky's shot blocked. Couldn't find it on the other side of the post either, and passes it over to CJ, but he pulls out of it as he knew Kenny Salmon was going to beat him. Amphis in the corner here, buying a lot of time. Scarf's up for it, but CJ's going to beat him. And he put this ball in for his teammates here. No, Amphis again collecting it. Scarf's up, pops it up for Kenny Salmon, who pulls away as he knew Sicky had that.
Oh, wow, and they're playing so conservatively here. They don't want to just risk Renegades rolling it by, getting one goal in the final few seconds, like they might be looking to do here. But Kenny Salmon just wants to clear it midfield. It's a pass, it's a shot, but it goes to the ground and it's overtime.
Ooh, heart was in my throat there as we could have seen Fury clinch it with a shot at the end, but we're in overtime. One goal is either going to send us to Game 5 or give us our 4th upset of the season. As a little pinch there is on target, but Scarf couldn't quite find the redirect off the wall. Oh, Amphis is keeping it in the corner though. Can he find Kenny Salmon in the middle? He does not, as Kami beats him to it. Scarf wins this though. Pops it up to Kenny Salmon. His shot is good, and Fury takes down Renegades 3-1. Are you kidding me? I had a few mates that would love to see this. They were hoping that Fury would take this over Renegades just for the league, and there it is.
And they did it 3-1 as well. Looking shaky on game number 1, but 3 solid wins after that cement Fury in the top half of the leaderboard. Renegades remaining where they are and eventually sliding down as more teams pick up the wins here. What a crushing start to the season for Renegades, but what a feel-good victory for Fury.
Yeah, and we've had our upset for the day, so that's that one done and dusted. We took that one off, the 4th of the season. Wow, yeah, I've got to say, Kenny Salmon, exceptional well. I mean, I picked him out as a player that really needed to step up if they want to take the series. He did exactly that and more. So my MVP vote's for him for sure.
Yeah, and you can just see the difference as well that he makes when he plays like that. He opens so much space for the rest of his team. I mean, Amphis gets to pop off. Scarf gets more room to do his thing and play to the same kind of style as Kenny Salmon, but Kenny just did the job well. He did it fantastically and picks up the MVP for this week, for this game. And wow, I mean, to do it in a style in the week that you take down the Renegades 3-1.
What a week we're having. That first game was insane. It was so close. This one going another upset. I don't think... I'm going to just start calling the upsets now. Maybe they're going to stop happening once I start to predict them. But yeah, I'm glad that I called Renegades winning because it meant that Fury would.
Yeah, and it makes things a hell of a lot more interesting throughout the league. But guys, we have one more match to go. It's going to be Canberra Havoc versus Overt, and that one's coming up after the break. Put a big smile on your face and a big smile in the chat. As we return, we've got one more game remaining for this season. Well, not the season, holy crap.
Yeah,
for
there's a few more games for the season.
For this week of the LPL Pro Rocket League ANZ Championship. It's Overt versus Canberra Havoc. So, Watson, we've had our upset. We've had our really close series. What have we got left?
Well, yeah, you said it was the season by mistake, but yeah, this week has felt like a whole season. We've had everything. I guess we got another close game, I would call, and maybe the comeback of Canberra Havoc if they start to mount some wins together. I mean, they've only got one win to their name in all this series, so really need to get that number up, and I think Overt's a team that, on paper, they might have a good chance against.
All right, well, let's take a look at their lineup. Canberra Havoc, previous finalists for the ANZ Championship, Zen, Misty, and Noisy.
We're looking at Overt.
Hang on, yeah. So let's talk about Overt then, okay? Not previous finalists. However, they did just take down the previous grand champions, the Renegades, last week with a 3-0.
Not looking like a hard task, though. Fury can do it as well. So, yeah, maybe it was it's just Renegades not playing up to their potential. But, yeah, I think Zen had a really good game. Misty, though, was the MVP of the week, and we gave it to him. So I want to see that performance out of him again. On the other hand, Canberra Havoc.
Yeah, so let's actually take a look at Canberra Havoc this time. Now, these guys are previous finalists, although they're not looking like it this season so far. Walcott, Leduc, and Tango. So these guys sitting at the bottom of the table, what do we need to see from them?
A lot. We need to see a lot, I think.
Just
first,
a little bit of everything.
First, just tying it up at the back. I mean, last season they were the saviors of the season. I think all three of them were fighting for that accolade. But this season, just letting a lot through. I think the losing Spidoge hurt them quite a bit. Tango not really sitting in that position as well, but we saw in the first game they had last week, they did play a different play style, and it worked for them. They got the win in that match, and then didn't really play that play style for the rest of the series. So I think if we want to see them step up, they just need to not let so many shots against them.
Okay, well, let's talk about our key player matchup. Now, it's going to be Leduc and Misty this week. Also, the stats on your screen are just from last week. So What are we seeing out of these numbers?
Well, I think we picked these players because they are the ones that can really carry it for their team. I mean, we saw it last week with Misty, with those stats there looking pretty good. And then LeDuc, on the other hand, was a great savior and also setting up a few, only picking up the 1 win in that series as well. So pretty decent stats from a 3-1 series. And yeah, I want to see Canberra Havoc really pop off, and I think LeDuc's the man to kind of lead that charge.
It gets the higher demo count, though. And I think
that's what matters.
Absolutely. I mean, it puts on a good show for the viewers, so that's what I care about.
Fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks, man. We need different, like way more demo animations.
I don't know why we don't have different demo explosions. I mean, yeah, maybe we kind of send an email to Psionics asking them for some, but...
I think they get in the way already, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of players aren't for them at the moment, so maybe that's not the best idea. But back to the game at hand, I think I touched on Tango being that player that hasn't really slotted into that Spido's role. And I'm still kind of waiting to see what this player has on offer. I mean, they picked him up. They were a top 2 team, so could have really brought in anyone, but brought in a rookie. It was a very ballsy call. Hasn't really worked out for them so far, but
not really getting
maybe he's got an ace up his sleeve. We don't know. There's still half a season to go, even after this match. Yeah.
On the flip side, though, you know, coming off some pretty good victories so far. Noisy, I want to talk about this guy because, again, he's another newer player to the league. Is he really living up to the standards we're expecting from a team like Overt, who's kind of like Kingslayers right now?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Over and you look at Fever, who's just stepped up time and time again and been so consistent. And then Noisy, on the other hand, hasn't really done that. He's had moments where he's looked really, really good and also moments where he's faltered. And yeah, I think if he is solid in this match, they could comfortably win this one, especially with the performances we've seen out of Canberra Havoc. But yeah, definitely one to watch to see how he plays in this match.
Okay, and then as well, Misty, MVP from last week. Is he someone that we're going to be looking to just be a consistent rock for the team, or is he coming in here and being the superstar?
I think for this team, he is the superstar. He's got to pop off. I think Zen's more of a control man. He likes to control the game, but he doesn't like to kind of have those moments where he just gets a goal from anywhere. I think that's Misty's role here, and he played into it last week. I want to see more out from him if this team really wants to kind of mount some wins together and see themselves rise up the leaderboard. But we see early aggression from Canberra Havoc here, a demo and a chance, but snuffed out by Zen there, and he beats 3 to get the aggression going for Over. Another demo coming out from Canberra Havoc. Is this their playtime?
This is a real angry game, that's for sure. And Canberra Havoc are not turning that aggression down at all. They're keeping it over here on the orange side. Over continuously on the defense here. They're holding it out pretty well, and they're controlling most of the boost spawns. Canberra Havoc, they still keep it in here, though. They still have to win a 50-50 here if Over really want to hope to get a good clear. They might have done it.
Yeah, this could be the pressure coming off, but LeDuc finding this one. The demo's really coming through from Canberra Havoc. It's already like 4 they've looked towards, not 2 of them, but this looks like their play style here, where they're just looking for a demo and take the 2v2.
Hey man, I'm keen for that. I'm keen to see some demos.
No. We see Tango in probably the shortest car, just not long enough to hit this one. Oh, he's halted in his tracks. Couldn't reverse into it. Probably should have just flipped into it, but didn't have the reaction speed. And Misty popping off. 1 goal to Over, a minute off the clock.
It almost looked like a longer car would have saved that as well.
Yeah, maybe a Dominus would have done it, but instead opts for the Bruiser Merc here, and it
he's never
really paid up. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of it, I'm not going to lie.
He is, though. He's a Merc main for life, so don't expect to see him changing that car ever. But we'll see what they can do. Overt already picking up the 1 goal, already keeping the lead, despite being on the defense for the majority of the game.
Tango collecting this in the Canberra Havoc half here, does pop it up, and Misty's there for that. LeDuc will find it, takes the shot, hits the crossbar. Walcott places it where he needs to beat the keeper, and that's 1-1 in this series. A demo also coming through from Tango there. It wasn't really needed, but a little extra explosion didn't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the rest of Canberra Havoc for setting Walcott up for that shot. He had so much space, so much time to make it as tricky as he wanted to, and it turns out it was tricky enough, evening things up here. Canberra Havoc getting their first spot.
Noisy starting this off from the kickoff, but a good clearance from Tango will buy a lot of time, and a miss there. Gives LeDuc space, he goes for the shot, hits the wall. Maybe trying to set up his teammates, but they weren't quite there. Gets the bump on the way out. Walcott tries to pass it down to him, but because he's going the opposite way, can't really get the power on that he wanted.
Yeah, and it is still Canberra Havoc winning these 50s in the air, keeping it over against Overt's net. Finally, Noisy gets a pretty good clear, but LeDuc is right on its tail. However, it's actually Zen who sends it flying. Might not get the shot, but gets some good distance, but it's just being shot back and forth.
I've got to say, Canberra Havoc having the majority of the possession so far. There was that early play from Overt to get them the goal, but after that, it's been all Canberra Havoc, and they haven't really been in their half.
But when Overt get the ball for a significant amount of time, I feel like their attacks are looking real good, although they have struggled to get it past this halfway mark. They've struggled to really get anything done. Havoc have just taken it away from them every opportunity, and Tango still actually goes slow on this contest, and Misty going to be able to win it.
Yeah, hesitated there and let enough space so that he could get it out of his half, but nice little send in from Walcott there, forcing a save from 2, and Tango takes us in the corner, looks for the pass, but Noisy gets a little pinch there and almost found Zen, who was waiting for it.
Tango's clears are so weird in the murk. Shot over towards Overt. It's kept over in their corner, stolen away by Tango in that murk, but can't work hard enough to get it past all of them still. Overt have to work pretty hard themselves to even get it out of their half. Finally, they've done it, but it's into the hands of Walcott.
Oh, he tries to knock it down for Noisy there, who was lurking, but decides not to push past halfway. Doesn't really want to give an extra goal to Canberra Havoc. His task at hand of scoring a goal was already looking pretty difficult in these last few minutes.
Yeah, it's a tight game so far as that clock runs down. Noisy just gets a redirect over to LeDuc, of all people, who sets it up in front of the net. The Tango can't get there in time. He can't take a shot. Now he has to run back. He has to keep it out with the rest of his team. And now you can see both teams getting very aggressive to the side, and apparently LeDuc saved it. So keeping it out for now. Tango up into the air. Is there any defenders in position? Bounces in front of the net. A little too high though. No one there to send it in, and we remain even.
Yeah, nice little waterfall, but players from Canberra Havoc rotating back, not continuing the pressure that they have in the last few minutes. And here we go, over. It's starting to mount their attack, and it doesn't take much for Misty to get going. So a good little clear from LeDuc here will stop that.
Yeah, and they're looking for a really good clear here. Over one good shot here could secure them the game. All Canberra Havoc need is just a good clear to send it by, and it looks like they've found just exactly that. If they can win some 50-50s here, keep it away from their net, they may be able to keep this one into overtime. But it's Noisy going all across the field, looking for some teammates. Who's there to keep it in? It's going to be Zen through the air, but it's just quickly taken out of his hands.
I wish we could see a stat of how many demos there's been so far in this match. As the shot comes through, Walduck, mix the teammates together there.
Walduck, thank you very much.
Walduck. Wall Tango.
Yeah, Tango doesn't really fit into it.
No, he does not. I tried my hardest, but it didn't work out.
Sorry, Tango. We'll find one when we have more time to think. But 10 seconds to go. Scores even, right in front of Havoc's net, but they get a good clear. This should be going to overtime, but both teams will rush. They're going to throw it into the air, and maybe Havoc might have a hope of chucking it into the net.
Misty there, getting over to 1. Zen popping this up in the air, hits the wall and continues up. A little pass from here from Misty, could find it, but knocks it down, and we see an overtime in game number 1.
Yeah, Misty's keen for overtime, and I think we are as well. Going into this one, we call this one maybe one of the closest series of the day. And it's certainly
the first match being close, it's hard to top that, but a game 1 overtime.
Yeah, well, we just need 5 games of overtime to be closer. And so we're already on track for that one. Still though, it's Havoc on defense, and it's going to be Zen working hard, trying to get that one into the net, but it is kept out by the Havoc.
It was close. It was very close. I mean, the hairs on LeDuc's car was what saved it there, I think.
If he was in a Merc, wouldn't have saved it.
No, definitely not. Needs a longer car. But luckily, picks the right car in this instant as Misty takes in the midfield, but a little pinch. Walcott almost getting this, forcing the save out of Zen there. Shot coming on, Walcott's up for it, but Misty clears this. LeDuc pulls out of it and gives a lot of time to Over. Forces a double save there, and Misty takes this on the side. Looks for the pass on the inside. Gets snuffed out by Tango. The shot's on. Zen had to use his gas to get that, and LeDuc putting the pass on. Tango's bump works out, but Noisy coming back manages to clear out Walcott's shot.
And wow, finally, Overt weather the storm. Now they get to mount their attack going. All the defenders are now back in position. They're still winning these 50s. Walcott needs to win this one. He does exactly that, but it's passed straight over to Overt. He has to go in it and steal it away again. Does manage to do just that. A lot of good control of the ball. Eventually, it has stopped in its tracks.
Oh no, but a bad clearance from Noisy there. Flick from Tango doesn't quite beat Noisy. He does have the boost to get to that. Walcott shot now, though, straight at Misty.
And now it's Overt's shot to move it up the field. What happened? Who knows? It does get cleared though. And now Havoc might be able to start shooting again. Overt's attacks are just being stopped, but it's Walcott to end the game.
Yeah, LeDuc with a good 50-50 here in the corner. I believe it was Noisy that challenged him. Sorry, Misty that challenged him and didn't win it. He was coming back from a demo, so was panicking a little bit, and then Walcott with the open goal clinches game number 1 from Havoc. We saw it last week where they took game number 1 and then faltered, so want to see them keep up this momentum.
Man, first few minutes, it felt like Overt were just right up against the brick wall. They were just constantly defending. Although as time went on, possession kind of evened out a little more. I mean, we saw Overt with the ball a little more often. And yeah, it's Havoc that come out with the win in the end, but I'd like to say Overt's trend meant that they were on the up. They may be able to come back in the series.
Yeah, I think both teams played well. I don't think either really showed anything too spectacularly, if that's a word.
It is a word.
But I think both teams also showed a few mistakes. We saw the one from Tango there where he could have just flipped to the ball and saved it, but didn't have a long enough car to get there. Yeah, I've got to give it to Canberra Havoc at the moment, though. They are playing very well defensively, and it's giving them the opportunities on those counterattacks.
Their attack was pretty relentless at the start, though. For
so
Canberra
many demos.
Yeah, I mean, so many demos. I mean, that's just one aspect of it. They kept it in the orange half for so long. They kept the shots going. They were winning the 50s in Overt's half. And so that allowed them, at least for the first few minutes, maybe half the game, to just keep it over there for, I'd say, close to 80% of the time. But as we kept going, Overt started getting more and more possession. I'd say we're closer to a 50-50 kind of split between possession.
Yeah, I think Overt with the possession looked a lot better, but I think Canberra Havoc had the more possession. So yeah, I would agree with you with that 50-50. I mean, it went to overtime. It was only 1 goal between it. It's a close series.
Let's kick it off again here in game number 2. Canberra Havoc 1 game up, already clearing it over to Overt, forcing them onto the defense. They're still holding on to it here, but I think Overt, with the several players catching the ball, looks like they should have held on to it, although a steal from LeDuc. He's got one defender to get by, but it looks like that is all that Overt needs. Yeah,
Tango probably should have looked for the demo there on the keeper, but didn't turn around in time, and meant that LeDuc couldn't beat it, but LeDuc's shot here is saved awkwardly by Noisy. Tango will win this 50-50 in the corner, puts it over 2. Doesn't win that one, though, and that's the important one, as Misty will clear this.
Yeah, as things slowed down, it looks like Overt.
Oh, that bump from Walcott! Wow. Are you kidding me? Just went straight for it. Most players would look for the pass, but he just chants it through Zen here, pushes him out of the way. That is dirty. You dirty man.
And a great way to open things up. Standard Canberra Havoc aggression. The demos are on the board. Getting that first point is just the icing on the cake. Or the whole cake, I suppose.
I don't feel clean after that. That was horrible to see. Amazing at the same time. Walcott trying to set up Tango here as the shot comes on, but 3 in the net will clear that. Walcott's still in the corner here, being a little bit of a menace. LeDuc will come to help, but will probably get beat up by Zen as he does, and Noisy will clear this.
Yeah, and it's actually a really good clear for Overt too, getting Zen pretty far down, and even stop it with Zen here at midfield. Although with Walcott coming in to steal it, if the rest of Havoc are up here, you may say that they might start an attack on. Although they've got to run back now. Noisy just blows up LeDuc on the way.
Somehow. But Zen's shot is on, but LeDuc coming back from the demo manages to clear that. Noisy with a shot here, but 2 in net will probably save this unless something bad really happens.
No, just trying to run out their boost. That's all that he's looking for with those continued shots. We're over in Havoc's side though, and it just doesn't seem to stay here for very long at all. Overt feels like the first few minutes of game number 1 again. Every single time they get a decent clear, it just gets sent right back.
All 3 players from Overt kind of huddling in a circle most of the time, very close together, and not really having the space to play it out from the back as they're just looking for these long clearances like this, and it just applies more pressure on them as they just chase after it, use all their boost, and then Havoc send it back.
And Walcott still wins that in the end with all that time. Misty will be able to catch it though. It is going to be set up though as it goes over to the other corner. LeDuc looking to go up, not contest that one. It is won by Overt, and does get sent all the way over to Havoc's side. They will get a pretty good clear, but Noisy is there to keep pushing it forward.
LeDuc's still here. Opts out of it, maybe whiffed it. Either way, Overt have the ball now as Misty looks to charge it. Tries to beat 2, but Walcott sure enough to save it as this is past to Noisy. The shot might come on, but LeDuc comes from the side. Tango puts it towards his own net again.
but it's over to Walcott, and he's happy to send it to Walcott. Now LeDuc clears it over to the corner, so they're not out of the woods just yet. And wow, that would have been a great shot for Overt if they were just facing the right way, but eventually Havoc have cleared it all the way back. They're going to keep it in Havoc's side, perhaps for a little while here, as Overt continue to steal it away with these 50-50s, winning them fairly often, but Walcott finally gets a good one. It's redirected by LeDuc. Bounces off the top of the net, though. Tango's coming in for his moment, actually just bumps it forward a little bit, playing a bit sneaky, gets it by 2. LeDuc looking to finish it off, but Overt holds strong.
Tango should have finished it off, but was a little too eager, got to the ball too early, and then had to stop all his momentum, and so couldn't get a powerful shot on it. Walcott, though, just winning so many 50-50s for Havoc here, buying a lot of pressure. Zen shot whacked away from Walcott, couldn't get it under the post anyway.
They tried to pinch it in the net, they tried to pass it to shoot it in the net. None of it's working. Havoc shut them out. They send it back. 1:20 to go. Havoc with the 1-point lead. The pressure's now on for Overt. They're going to scrounge in one more goal.
I gotta say, LeDuc missing a lot of these redirects. Last season he was so clinical with them, and it even beat Chiefs with one. So very strange to see him kind of whiff a lot of these, but still putting a lot of pressure on Overt.
And Canberra Havoc, once again, they stopped 2 or 3 shots, immediately send it back, and that was one of the longer attacks by Overt. Feels like Havoc have got this one in the bag if they can just keep it up for another 50 seconds.
Only 1 goal in it, though. It could easily go to overtime with one mistake coming out from Canberra Havoc, as we see they've got all the possession and all the offense. Misty's backflip there will stop it. The double commit coming out from him and Zen. Misty's looking for those demos, though. He is angry.
Yeah, I don't think he would have found much more apart from those demos. 30 seconds to go. LeDuc clears over to the corner. Canberra Havoc are looking for one good clear. Double commit to get it done. Actually sends it to the net, but it's actually to the midfield here with Overt, and Zen would have loved to take a shot there, but can't do it solo. Now it's over towards the Overt net. Havoc wanting to score one more goal here to secure themselves a victory. And they might be able to do it. LeDuc pushes the defender out of the way, but they got the clear before anything else can happen. 3 seconds to go, and Overt, they've got to get it done right now. If they can even keep it up in the air. Looks like they can for now, but you've got to imagine Havoc slam it into the ground, pick up their next win in the series, match point.
Yeah, and Havoc doubled their wins for the season in just this one series alone. We're only in game 2, so looking very strong. It is very close. 1 goal in it, both games. The first one going to overtime, this one not going that far as LeDuc clinches it.
And my observation right now is that Havoc just have Overt's number on defense. Every time Overt get up to that side of the field, it's shut down super quickly. You never feel like there's any real rotations going on. And when they finally get one, it's just easily blocked. It doesn't look like Canberra Havoc are even putting in too much effort to really stop their attacks.
We're starting to see that last season Walcott come back again, where he was just cleaning everything up in that midfield and stopping any attacks before they really start to mount that momentum. But just winning it and then giving it to LeDuc, who will try and redirect it here and there, is whiffing a few of the chances, maybe needs to be a bit more clinical there, and they could see the game get sealed a little earlier and not be so close. But they're doing enough to have Overt's number, as you say, and this is a team that took down Renegades last week. They're not, it's not an easy task.
I mean, we've seen it happen again today, though, so maybe
it was an easy task.
Maybe it's a little easier than we're hyping it up to be, but then there's results from things like the Gauntlet where Renegades are doing well, so it's really hard to call.
This is a strange league, Smite.
Oh, man, well,
and I love it.
If you like upsets, then certainly the league to watch. But we're here, match point, Canberra Havoc 2-0 up against Overt, the team that beat the Renegades last week, 3-0, by the way, and Havoc, the bottom of the table.
Tango looking to redirect this, couldn't quite get above it as Walcott tries his luck. The duck in the midfield, though, is caught flat-footed. Tango reaches for this, does get a hand to it, and Noisy will pass this down, but doesn't find his teammate. Walcott going past it has been very solid so far, but does have a rare miss there.
I was going to say, here's the real test, but it's already over. As Havoc have shut down that attack, and Overt scrambling back for the defense. They do manage to keep it out for now. Maybe they can get an actual attack rolling here, but I feel like after the first one, it's going to be Havoc ready to shut it down. They get some pretty good passes going on, but eventually they're going to shoot.
Overt to come out of the gate firing for sure, and looking to try and convert that into a lead, but can't really break down Havoc just yet. Walcott will try and find this. No boost to really get around it. Leaves it to Tango. Duck's got to win some time for Walcott to rotate, but look, all 3 players are staying up. They're here for it.
Oh, he definitely bought some time for sure. Noisy can't even get to the ball in time. It's kept over in Overt's half. I feel like they'll get it past here. off the corner, off the double touch. Zen,
Nice.
beautiful little play.
We were saying how clinical Canberra Havoc have been at the back, and it's going to have to take some magic like that to beat them. That is a great double touch from Zen there. A difficult angle as well. Keeper in net, he did a lot.
It felt like Havoc weren't even expecting it to be a shot as well.
I wasn't expecting it to be a shot. A lot of times they just look for the pass in that situation, but Zen maybe just playing the mind games in the first few games, decides to put that one on target, and it worked.
Yeah, that is probably the hardest thing for Overt to do right now, is actually just getting points on the board. So it feels great that they can do it in just over a minute. So Havoc may have to work here in their third game if they want to win the series 3-0. I've got to say that Havoc's attacks are lasting less and less time.
Yeah, the demo's coming through now though, so that aggression is back. We did see it in the first 2 games, and it bought a lot of space for them up there. A few more of those and you could find yourself a goal.
Yeah, real quick snappy passes as well. Even the snappy clears keep it over and over top. Although this is some pretty good distance. It's Zen. Does he shoot a second time? He doesn't. He just sets it up. Although that's a second shot from Noisy, easily blocked. Overt keeping a good attack rolling. Havoc still stopping it at every opportunity though.
And I praised Walcott for those first 2 games being clinical, but already we've seen a few whiffs from him in the defense, especially in that midfield where they've been shutting down a lot of Overt's attacks before they even begin. And start to falter as LeDuc tries to force it through 3 there, but didn't have the boost to really put a powerful shot on as this gets sent all the way to Tango to catch it.
Yeah, Tango should catch this one and maybe even get a pretty good clear, but actually Zen just steals it out of his hands in front of the net. Can't get the second touch on it though, so won't be able to send that one in. And Walcott all in position to just send it up the field.
Yeah, LeDuc in the redirect there, but a great clearance on Zen. Tries to find his player, but Walcott had to be up for that as he was going to put that in. Noisy shot, hits the crossbar, missed his shot, goes over, couldn't find the double touch as he got bumped out the way. Zen tried finding it, hits the post as well. Tango pitches it away, and Walcott will finally get the clearance, but the attack's still on.
Yeah, well, Havoc though, they've shut every door in the house and they're not letting anything else in. Now they're starting to burgle their neighbors as they're trying to find one more point. They need to bring it to overtime here if they want to have a hope of ending the series here.
Misty's up though, does get the touch there to put it on target for the Duck save. And all the pressure's on Canberra Havoc now. They're just keeping it in their half and they don't like it.
Oh, good little bump, just stops that attack as well. Let's let Duck roll it on forward too. Overt though, worked pretty hard and they managed to get it over here, keeping it in Havoc's half. Still patient, trying to get it past Walcott, but can't be done. Walcott's gonna send it flying, has no boost though and has to get back. 2
players from Canberra Havoc though should be able to clean this up unless there's a bad mistake from either of them. A little whiff from the Duck there. Tango's up for it, does win it.
Start to see like when Walcott's about to demo someone as well. He lines it up for a second. It's great. But now, in front of the net, oh no, it's bouncing around and Havoc are still keeping it out. They're not letting Overt take any more shots. One more actually does get taken though, and I think that might have been the final one. LeDuc wanting to push it, the final amount of distance gets pushed around by Overt though, so can't secure it.
Yeah, there's a minute on the clock. LeDuc, that was probably his best opportunity there, but couldn't quite find the flick over the keeper. And still 1 goal behind. We could see Overt start to mount a reverse sweep. A bump there on Tango to clear it. That leaves the net open.
Oh, a
Misty
save.
couldn't find as LeDuc comes flying back to hit it against the post. Walcott's dribbling this up. Can he beat Zen? No, he manages to clear it. Tango's there though to put it back in the middle. LeDuc's up. Misty clears.
What a ridiculous turn of events. It could have only been more ridiculous with a goal. And so with 30 seconds to go,
well, here's your goal.
Misty finds it right through all of the defenders. Overt should be bringing us to game number 4.
I think Tango might have put this in as well. Misty's shot was good. It hit off the post. Yeah, it was. Tango redirects it in. It might not have gone in if he didn't do that.
Tango maybe slipping a little bit in these final few games here. However, looking at Overt, they're looking as strong as they've ever been. And so, keeping this attack going, I think finally they've found a way to crack through Canberra Havoc's defense. Apparently, it's just send it through when they're not really expecting it. They have these weird shots that defenders not really expecting, but 7 seconds to go.
It's looking like we're going to see some more games of Rocket League, Smite. I mean, if this is what the story is for game number 4, then we might see a game number 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, written down in the script here, it says we go to a best of 5 and all the way, but no, that said, Overt picking up their first win here in the series against Canberra Havoc, showing that last week maybe not just a fluke.
Look at the shots as well from the whole team, 11-2. Overt really controlling that game, just kept it in Canberra Havoc's half. I would say from the whole game, not even really too many moments to note of Canberra Havoc's aggression there. There was a few chances where LeDuc was on a one-on-one and just couldn't convert. And yeah, I think if he put those away, it could have looked a lot closer. But there it is, Overt kind of fighting back here.
Fighting back. And I've got to say, in that game specifically, it did look like a reversal. Maybe if we took game 1 and flipped it around, right? The possession was so much in Overt's favor. I mean, they got so many more shots coming out from them too. So I feel like they've solved that problem. Their goals that they're getting in are a little sneaky, a little weird, but if it gets the job done, then I'm all for it.
I would say forcing mistakes. I would give them the credit of that. It's not just individual errors coming out from Havoc. We did see a few whiffs from maybe Walcott in that game, especially where he was just giving a lot of pressure over to his the other team by whiffing that and not getting the clearances in the midfield. It means that his players then have to use a lot of boost to cover his position there, and it kind of just puts him on the back foot time and time again. So really needs to solidify his place here and be a bit more solid as he was in the first 2 games.
Okay, kicking back into it. A great kickoff from Overt sends it over to Havoc's half. Now they can see if they can get these attacks rolling again. It's a shot from Misty, but he gets bumped over to the side. They haven't finished yet. Zen still has, well, he had a full tanker boost. Used quite a lot of it. Havoc fighting for it. It's a big tussle for the ball here. Looking for one big clear, and there it is by Havoc. It doesn't really make it past halfway, though. Good demo onto Zen. Should slow that attack all the way down.
Canberra Havoc might start to mount the first attack in maybe 5 minutes if we conclude the last game. But no, it looks like Over with a little pinch there, and all 3 players working in this play, but Walcott reads the redirect from Misty there off the post and doesn't concede a goal. As Tango's whiff there, though, means that Zen can snatch an early lead. 45 seconds off the clock, and Overt are in the lead.
And Zen just slides into this one as well. Tango trying to go for the second block, but there it is, Overt, first goal on the board. I mean,
if Tango was in a longer car again, he would have saved that.
I'll leave the guy alone.
Oh, it's not the guy, it's the Merc.
Leave Merc alone then. But you're right, it would have been saved in a longer car probably. But that said, it is still the first point on the board for Overt. Certainly not wanting to go down in this series after such a good week last week. So Havoc, maybe they've been found out. Taking it slowly here, Walcott waiting for the pass.
Wasn't great.
Doesn't really find him.
No, it was not a great pass from Tango. Really need to put more power onto that, but kind of lost the possession of the ball on his little flick there. You see LeDuc collect this, but just behind him, so he couldn't quite get around it for the shot. This one's left for Tango, who pumps it over Misty there, tries to find the pass, but gets knocked away by Noisy. There was a demo there as well, that was a 2v2.
Yeah, but couldn't quite win the 50-50, so instead it's handed over to Havoc. LeDuc trying to get it by. Walcott actually should catch this one, but no, it's Zen who wins the 50-50. It is over his head, so it's just a little bit of time he buys. It slows down the attack a whole lot. Overt almost missing that one. Misty luckily in position.
Yeah, it was an awkward one. I mean, just one wrong move and Misty could have conceded that. Does well to save it. Tango's pass is good for once.
No, Tango!
Yeah, okay, LeDuc's shot was almost in, but Walcott there to clean it up as all the defenders had committed themselves. Great pass from Tango.
Yeah, I mean, Tango setting that one up beautifully. LeDuc, I mean, feels kind of bad that you have to let Walcott steal the goal, but that said, good thing Walcott was in position, picked that one up to even things up.
Yeah, the first goal in over 7 minutes now with the last game, not even picking one up themselves, but see the other end, Over mounting another attack. Tango here, though, buying a lot of time for his teammates to get up into position, tries to find another pass, but couldn't quite find it. Noisy swipes out the air. Walcott's shot was good, forces 2. LeDuc needs to collect this and mount it again. He's got options, but goes for the shot. Instead, couldn't quite find it. Tango in the corner. Couldn't quite beat the defender. Now Walcott will hit this back his own way so he can collect it, but
he doesn't even collect it.
Yeah, gives it to Noisy, and now Misty will collect this here. Try and find his teammate in the middle, but Noisy was flipping away, didn't have any boost. That's the attack over, I believe.
Well, they're keeping it at halfway, so Havoc still have to work all this distance, although Walcott just gets it by half, and behind him, it's going to be Tango to set it up. Goes over to the net, but it is set off to the side, and now Havoc may be coming back for a defense unless they can catch it here. Steal it away from Overt. They're going to go for it. It is a contest, but it works out in Overt's favor.
That was close to going over Walcott there, and it might have conceded if he didn't hit that. Does get a little inch to it there as Walcott with a bump as well, but LeDuc couldn't quite find the shot. Maybe wasn't expecting it to come to him, but should have done better.
Yeah, position though, he was being bumped around too. So back over to Walcott. He was looking for a shot, but unfortunately, Overt rested back. They get some clears. They're even looking to take some shots. He's waiting on the wall. Actually goes in for the steal, leaving one defender. It is going to be enough for Havoc though. Would have been great to steal that one too, but it's still here. Overt still working to try and shoot this one in. Finally, it gets by them though, and Havoc start there.
Duck with options, doesn't go for the pass. He does in the end. Walcott finds it in the corner there, and they've taken the lead with 1:20 to go. Thought LeDuc went for the shot, but was just faking out the keeper, faking out me as well.
Oh, well, LeDuc just making it confusing for everyone involved except Walcott, who was there ready to catch the pass and redirect it back into the net. So now, Havoc take the lead in match points, looking to take control of the series and take out the win. 1:20 to go, and they're already knocking it into Overt's half.
Yeah, Walcott cleaning up his mistakes and also cleaning up the goals for Canberra Havoc here, but an Overt attack, a nice little dangerous ball there. Walcott will clean it up. Tango's here to catch it. Doesn't quite get to it in time. Does find the demos. It's a 3v2 for a moment here. But Zen's clearance will buy a lot of time for that respawn to come through.
Oh, real awkward clear by Walcott. They're not quite winning the 50-50. Keeps it here in Havoc's half. Overt are a bit in awkward positions to keep pushing it forward, but oh my god, LeDuc is just dancing on Zen.
Still gets it though and beats a player, and then gets angry and demos him. He's like, don't push me around, mate. I will take you out of the game. As we see Walcott here, gets it taken off his head from the dribble. Tango up in the air to try and beat one. Beats Misty, gets it in the corner, but Noisy will probably clean this up.
And 30 seconds remain. Overt need to start their attack and need to score it now. LeDuc keeping it in this corner. Oh, so annoying for Overt. They have to find a way to get it by them. And Walcott rushing in. May have been a mistake as Misty takes a shot. It's defended, but where's the follow-up? Noisy trying to get it by, but have enough time to get into position, send it back, 10 seconds remain.
Oh, a couple mistakes that should have been punished from Canberra Havoc there, but Overt not in the position to do so, and instead just wastes even more time as this ball will probably see the ground. And there it is, Canberra Havoc winning their first game of the season. They're no longer winless. I gotta say, Walcott was risky a little bit in that game number 3, but the other 3 matches was very clinical, probably sealed it for his team, especially the goals in this one. For me, he was the standout player in the series.
Yeah, I mean, Walcott just came in and did what Walcott does best. Just come in, make some snappy plays, also be a good rock for the team, and just be all over the place.
A menace.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, the demos as well. I can't wait to see the stats on that one.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be the highest out of any team there.
It's got to be Walcott.
Got to give it to him. I mean, a special shout out to Tango for stepping up. Yep. I think he played really well, and we hadn't really seen that from him in past weeks, so props to him. And Canberra Havoc for getting their first win against an Overt that did take down Renegades last week.
Yeah, and what a turn of events, and I cannot wait to see the leaderboard as well. It's going to put all these teams in wacky positions that we didn't expect them to be. But there it is, Walcott picking up the MVP for this match for the Canberra Havoc. But wow, I mean, that was a final series of the day. Canberra Havoc picking up the win closely but solidly. Just any surprises with that result?
I thought it was going to be a lot closer, maybe seeing a game 5, but I mean, all the games with 1 or 2 goals in it. It was no real shutout from either team. I think I was more surprised that Canberra Havoc played well. I think LeDuc had a lot of falters there, and I think if they were up against a team like Cringe or Renegades or Ground Zero or even Mindfreak, who's still sitting up there lossless, I think that's when they'll start to struggle. They really need to all be on the same page. But yeah, props to getting the first win. This might do well for their momentum.
Very important for them. But guys, that's all our matches for today. But after the break, we're going to be recapping today, awarding out our MVP for the week, and taking a look at next week's matches. So stick around for that one because we've got more to come. Well, all the matches now done and dusted for today, but of course, we're going to be looking over them in just a moment. My name is Matt Smite Ross. Mr. Watson has joined me for all of today. Just quickly touch on the...
Haven't moved, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, it's true, he hasn't moved at all. But Watson, I mean, we got it all today. We got a lot of good matches. We got some close matches, some upsets, and even some one-sided stomps if you're into that sort of thing. But
and a Canberra Havoc win. We haven't seen that in a while, so it's good to see.
We don't even have a team that has no wins anymore. Every team has picked up a win. But let's take a recap of all the matches we saw today that, well, resulted in all those beautiful little games that we saw. We kicked things off with an incredibly close series. Ground Zero getting the win against Cringe Society 3-2, Following that, we had Mindfreak taking a 3-0 against Team Esper. After that, Fury took down the Renegades 3-1. What a result coming out of that one. And then finally, we had Canberra Havoc, the last team to pick up a win, but pick up a win they did, 3-1 against Overt, and that is going to leave the leaderboard all over the place.
Yeah, I really want to see it. I'm sure we're going to see it up next, and I guess Mindfreak still up there without a loss, 4-0, looking really good, and I don't think anyone can really take a playoff spot from them. They might even solidify it next week. I'm not sure. I'll have to do the math. But Canberra Havoc also picking up a win, so all three of those teams at the bottom there still not out of the races. The rest of them with 2 and Ground Zero taking the field.
Yeah, I mean, technically, with all teams having a win now, it's still possible for anyone to dethrone Mindfreak, anyone on the leaderboard. However, if that actually happens, this is a completely different story. I think the big one as well is that you've got Cringe Society and Renegades on 2-2 each. Normally, if we see like one team is maybe falling down in results a little bit, but Cringe Society and the Renegades, are we surprised to see these teams both with 2 losses already? They haven't even played each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're playing next week, so I guess one of them is going to end up being 2-3, which is crazy to say. But I mean, they both have players from the Chiefs last season, and that's kind of what we saw from them there. So maybe just kind of following on from last year's form. I definitely wouldn't have picked Cringe Society down there. I kind of put them as my top team, and with Mindfreak sitting up there and even Ground Zero above them, it's just crazy to say.
Yeah, I think their loss today was definitely one of the most surprising things. But talking about today, we're going to be awarding our MVP of the week. And so for you, I just want, who really stands out this week to you?
I've got to say Express. I mean, that game was insane. It was so close. Either team could have taken it, and Express for me played well in all 5 of the games. Even in the losses, he was playing exceptionally well, making it really hard for Cringe to even find anything in those games. So, yeah, for me, he's taken out the whole week. I think in past weeks we gave it to the upset wins, and there was one today, and we could give it to anyone on Fury, but for me, it's got to be Express.
I mean, some might even call Ground Zero taking down Cringe Society even a small amount of an upset, but that said, Express picking up the win for his team in a very important series. Let's not forget that. Working hard through all 5 games as well. You know, obviously we've given MVP of the week to teams that have got the upset win before, but Express going all the way. It's such an important match.
Yeah, it didn't falter at all. I mean, the pressure was really on, especially in that Game 5 overtime, but played really well for them and managed to clinch the win, and that's such an important win, especially at this point of the season, because now it's playoff runs. You've got to try and string these wins together and clinch that top 4 spot going into the, I would say LAN, but I don't think that's happening anymore, but playoffs nonetheless. Very important win for them.
Yeah, and that prize money is still all the way at the top, so they're still certainly competing for that one. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our matches for next week, because that is where things might tidy up that leaderboard a little bit. We're going to be kicking things off with the Canberra Havoc taking on Team Esper to continue their hot streak. Renegades will then play Cringe Society in a match that everyone has their eyes on. Thirdly, we'll have Mindfreak taking on Fury. And then, to round things off, Overt will take on Ground Zero. So, I don't have to ask you.
You do not have to ask. I mean, Renegades Cringe Society is pretty much El Clasico. Yeah, Chiefs isn't in the teams this year. They don't have an org yet, but Cringe Society are kind of filling that void anyway with the star-studded roster. And because both teams are kind of sitting 3rd and 4th and teetering on playoffs or not making it, such an important game as well. So I think all eyes on that match. Other matches good as well. I think Mindfreak Fury. We could see Fury have another upset and take down Mindfreak. I could definitely see one loss in Mindfreak's future, but I don't know if Fury is the team to do it.
Yeah, is Fury the team to do it? I mean, they had a good upset today.
Yeah. I mean, if they keep on the form that they had today and Kenny Salmon and Scarth play well, then yeah, they definitely have a chance.
All right, well, guys, that is everything for us today. We've had just about everything from every type of Rocket League game today. So if you're going to watch any of the weeks, make sure you watch this one. But, guys, that's it from us for today. So we're going to see you next week at the same time with more Rocket League ANZ action.